help if I brought my microphone down, wouldn't it? Hello, tubers. Let me just make sure it is coming through to you guys as clear as we would hope. Yeah, the settings are looking good there. Right, let's get ourselves live over to the TikToks. How you doing there, Dan and Paul? Are you still in patiently waiting? So we've had to push a little bit later there, what with the night getting darker later on there. So it looks like 10 p.m. for the next week will probably be our start time. But look how wonderfully clear it is now. We've got some fancy new features on the screen which we're testing out. How you doing, Carl? Good to see you. We're doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight there, and we're currently live from Wiltshire here in the UK, which is right in the heart of crop circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge. So if you are over on the TikToks, you've got the horizontal view now, so I think it's somewhere like down here. Press the full screen button, turn your phone on its side, and you should be able to see more of the night sky than you have been able to previously. But yeah, that blue means that the sun hasn't fully set for us here. It has mostly visually, but it's not fully gone around, and as the night goes on, the stars are going to pop out more. It's going to get darker, and we're going to see more and more activity there. And Carl, how are you, Liam? We're all good. It's been a busy week. We're good. How about you and Donna? How are you getting on there? Oscar, how are you doing? I tried to reply earlier on Discord, but I think Discord is down. So this is a general shout out to anybody that is on our Discord there. Discord, last part of today, is having some issues by the looks of it. I'm sure they'll resolve it soon, but if there's not one technical problem, there is another one there. And is this there? How clear? How is it clear where you are there? It's thundering around here. So let's hope it doesn't go that way. I'm hoping it's our luck tonight that it stays clear for us, because at the minute it is lovely and clear. So let's see how we get on there. And Liberty, how are you doing? Good to see you. Excited all for the weekend. So we've got a lot of daylight still there, and we're going to keep playing with the settings as it gets darker, and we're going to see more and more stars pop out and more activity there. So the mods, when they get in, they are going to be able to basically press the buttons there and highlight the squares on the screen. So it's a new feature, but hopefully that way we can keep up with the sightings together there. I'm glad to hear it there, Carl, as well. And yes, it's down there. I think I've been targeted by social media. Oh, really? Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, what? Gifts. How have I already got a got a ban from bloody TikTok already? I'm on for 10 seconds. Ridiculous there. Oh well, yeah, so I would not be surprised, those bigger companies there, but yeah, I haven't seen anything about it yet there, but then again, I am very much out of the loop. At the minute there, Brad is in as well there, Maya there, you walked into the wrong room again. We'll see you over on the tubes there. 200 plus social media, really? Oh my God. I'll be surprised we can get on here tonight, actually. I'm so out of the loop with these things that I'm glad to hear it there, Liberty. And Zen is in over on the tubes as well. So guys, we're going to be doing another deep dive tomorrow night. It's an emergency one because obviously there has been this drop of the latest files and videos related to the UFO phenomena there by the US government. And we're going to be doing a read through and look through all of those together with you guys. 10 p.m. tomorrow. It's looking to be cloudy. So yeah, we're going to be doing that over on the Patreon there and the YouTube members live, so we can read through all of those if you guys want to join for that. Rio is in. How are you doing there? And won't be on long tonight there. It's been a very long day. Oh, Brad, well, we appreciate you popping in for however long you can there, but get some rest if you're there. M to the C, how are you doing? And I was streaming last night and don't get home till 2:30. Oh, I haven't got it in me to do that anymore there. How are you doing, Raf? Good to see you there. 800, pretty good going. That's very, very good there, Liberty. One day, I don't know how to handle the chats with that many. There, Kate is in. How are you doing? The nerdy family. Kate, we've already got a TikTok gifting ban there. That's hilarious already. Look, we've got some movement on the bottom of the screen. It's going behind the new meters at the second, but we should be able to zoom in on that one. So, does one of the mods, do you want to test the grid for us?
Zoom mode activated.
See if the interactive grid is going to work if you guys press the buttons. Now, slow and steady. We need to see this do something strange there. Something a man-made satellite just can't do, like stop dead, shoot off at speed, change course, change trajectory, anything like that that tells us that it's something actually a little bit stranger than one of the many man-made objects up to there as well. Yes, Leanne, yes, so the new ones, we're doing this horizontal for the time being because it's easier. But so guys, if you are on the TikTok, down here somewhere, press that button, it takes you full screen, turns the phone sideways. You should be able to see more. Ah, there we go. Look, the interactive grid is working there. Oh, and we've got another one in there as well. So this is a new feature. So the mods, because I spend my time in the chat, if there is anything very interesting on the screen that you guys spot, they can press the button and it'll highlight the square for 20 seconds, and I should be able to see that quicker, and should be able to zoom in and stuff like that. But we've got some extra features on here as well. We've got solar wind speed and things like that, anything that can happen up there in the night sky as well, and some weather reports of how it is here on the ground. So hopefully, in theory, we should actually be able to see more of the screen than you have previously there. We shouldn't be missing out on too much, but how is everybody doing? We're doing our live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight there. What's it? 55 out of 24% messaging, 15-minute logging problems around London and Birmingham. Really? So it's localized. How is that working? Very interesting there. And Rachel, love the new look. Thank you, Rachel. Always nervous trying new looks with these things, but we want to try it and improve it. More correlated information, basically, that we can provide there, helping us inform. We've got the clock on screen as well, so we can give perfect timestamps to the objects that we see for clipping and for things like that as well. There, I forgot to text my sister back there. At least you remember probably the same day there. Seem to be going down though, so give it 30 minutes. Yeah, these big companies do normally sort them quite quickly, but we're just talking about Discord mainly. So if you've been in our Discord community, you might realise that you've not been able to post any messages for the later part of today. They've had some issues. Oh, something in A1. There we go, it's working. Rachel there, and good evening. All and Sam there. I'm getting worried about Icarus. They haven't had a lot of activity lately. Maybe it's just because of how busy things are going off in the world there. I'd imagine their time might be split there, but I can appreciate it probably makes you feel a bit nervous on that one. And why is it so blue and we can't see the stars? Leanne, you live with me. We've been doing this for a year now. Do you not listen? It is because the sun hasn't fully gone around yet. So there's a lot of that daylight still polluting the sky, but as the sun does move further around, as the stream goes on, we're going to get more of that darkness come through, and therefore more contrast and more stars and whatnot coming through there. And Carl, they just pressed, if you just realised you press the button, you go sideways. So yes, exactly that. I didn't know this actually, Carl, but yeah, down here there is a little button. If you press it, it does to horizontal, so you can actually see everything like better proportion there if you're on the vertical streams there. Oh, excellent, Rachel. I appreciate that. And Kate is back there. And Agent there, dude, why are you not with me in the UFO conferences with Greer? Wait, what? I'll get you an all exclusive. Wait a minute. What UFO conference with Greer? What's that? I need to know about that one, Agent. It'd help if I check my bloody messages. I noticed I've got a ton to go through, but it's the weekend, so I should be able to catch up soon. Hopefully, there'll be more answers to that there. And definitely, the US keeps firing missiles at Iran there. Anyone heard of any activity? Well, we've had the data dump, haven't we? The drop of all of the first batch of all of these documents related to it, and we're going to be looking through those tomorrow night there over on the members and the Patreon there, 10 PM at UK times there, and it's like a heat map there. The servers are in those more demand. I get you. It's very interesting we have the technology to track these things nowadays there. Thank you, Leanne, for the reminder there. And zoom in and pinch the screen. You can zoom as well, even better there. And half the members are with me in the UFO conference. Wait, what UFO conference is this? I haven't even heard about it. But then again, I'm not keeping up on my messages. Right, let me pop back over to the tube, see where we got to there. And something strange is going on. Well, I think that may well be the case, isn't it? I mean, we're getting the data release. People are saying that it is absolutely imminent, some form of disclosure. X is now mentioning about a conference from a private individual there. So it's good that there's new stuff there, Raf there. And Drona, how are you doing? Good to see you there. And Paul, 5 gift membership. Jesus, Paul. Thank you. That is incredibly, incredibly generous and kind of you there. So, guys, if you receive one of those memberships from Paul, please say thank you to him for that, because that is ridiculously generous. So, appreciate that. But, guys, all of you members now, you'll be able to join us tomorrow night, 10 PM there, for the live read-through of all of the documents related to the phenomenon from the latest drop there. So, yeah, we're going to be reading them through in real time together, seeing what juicy bits there may or may not be in with all of that there. And God, there's loads of them there, but really appreciate that one. So it all goes back into the stream there to give subs, patrons, members, super chats, all that sort of stuff does go back into the stream, and it helps us improve what we do. No down the pub for me, maybe Alan though, and it was on a TikTok and it caught somebody. Oh really, there, Matt? So you were. So what's the deals with it there? What's the gist on that one there? And Liberty. hit the like. Exactly. Thank you. Do appreciate that, guys, because it is those likes and those shares, all that sort of stuff that helps us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. You never know who's going to pop in, what stories they are going to tell related to the phenomena. I'm just going to turn the contrast up a little bit there, get some more stars in range. We're going to have to play a bit of to and fro with this as the night goes on. We're getting more, but that blue still means that there is a lot of daylight. That will go pitch black. There's no moon for us tonight, and we're going to see more stars, more movement, more activity. That big bright one is Arcturus there, so very, very interesting. Let's see what activity we spot. We've now got the interactive grid as well. Where did we get to? There. And I feel like the tech reporter. Got a man on the ground there, Oscar, checking in for the tech, which we need. And this is what I do love about the internet communities. The good side of it is that if you just start, you will meet people that have those complementary sets of skills, you know, and you form a little team of people, all with their specialist interests there. I mean, like X here coming in with the information there. So Alex, UFO conference 3 invites. I don't have my notifications turned on there, Agent X. I literally turned on, I think I went on to TikTok earlier today for to post for our thing tomorrow, but I need a better way of being reached at the minute, because I've got, like, we was talking about this the other day, I've got, oh, there's some movement on the grid there. Oh yeah, I see that one. Let's zoom in on that one. Good spotting there, guys. Oh, look, it's free on screen. But I need a better way of doing it. Now we're busier. I've got like 4 different platforms full of messages that I just aren't keeping on top of. So I need to get a better way of getting access to those, because it's not so bad if it's not time sensitive. But there, Agent X, that one does sound quite time sensitive. Oh, got a little bit of flash to this one. That could still be the atmosphere and the low light though. Oh, that is a bright one. Look at the difference in that. Again, a lot of coloration there. It's still not necessarily doing anything anomalous, because of that is it's got a bit of a green hue to it there, but we really do need to see that strange behaviour. We need to see it stop dead, shoot off at speed, change course, change trajectory, something like that. And Paul, oh my God, Paul, another 5 memberships. Jeez, how many? Because you've done some before there. Thank you, Paul. That is, again, very, very, very kind there. And all of you new members, please do say thank you to Paul for those. But also, remember, tomorrow night, 10 PM, we will be doing a live part on the members and on the Patreon there together. So we're going to be looking through those documents that have just been released there. I'm going to get over to the tubes in a second, but it's a psionics and UFO conference. Okay, very interesting. I definitely need to brush up there. I'll have to check your story. Right, let's have a look. Let's see if I can load it up now so I can... Well, where is TikTok? Oh, my God. So I'm such an old man. Technology there. And Oscar there, it's gone from 2,000 reports to only 5,000 in 30 minutes. So it's getting there. It's getting there. Right, where is... Let's have a look at this one, because this does sound like breaking news. Oh, come on, phone. I'm like your nan trying to use technology here, but let's have a look. All right. Where are we? There. Agent X shared alive. There you go. Let's have a look. Oh no. Oh, I think that. Oh no, your story, wasn't it? Right. Hold on. Yeah. Let's have a look. Right. There. So what's this one? Ah, it's this. Yeah, it's the link, but it's. I've missed it. Typical. Right. I'll have to find it. We'll have to have like a direct link to solve that one in the future. There. Right. Let's just put that back. Gifting suspended for me. Yeah, I know, Rachel. I literally just got on and it decided to suspend it. Look, we're getting more and more stars out now, so as that goes. It's working excellent there, Oscar. So there we go. Mr. Great Science Conference invite. Like, thank you, Agent X, for trying and persisting. We will get there. We'll find a better way of doing this. Was literally just talking about this the other week there. Just got so many. I'm not keeping up with it there. And Janie, yeah, can't send gifts yet. TikTok and its infinite wisdom. We logged in and it went, no, we're suspending it because you're naughty.
Film mode
or something
activated.
Like that. There you go. Look at that one. Shooting past Arcturus there. Very big, very bright, very fast. It should come back at some point, but thank you for trying it there. 3 minutes there. Okay, excuse. I did Agent X there. We'll figure. We'll get a red phone. We'll get a red hotline there, X, and that way we can always come through there. It's working for you now there. Thank you. Oh yeah, and A up there coming in with the gifts. Janie, it's come through now. Sorry, I'm so far behind. Appreciate those. It all goes back into the stream as well. Where are we? Let me just have a look. Where did we get to on here? You got blocked for 2. What? How can they do that? Surely they would love that. The invites, they're getting more eyes on it. Yeah, whistleblowers as well. And there's a green hue to it, definitely. I'm glad you spotted that as well. Sometimes I worry I go a bit mad there. Michael Herrera was there too. Now that is interesting. I know of Michael Herrera there. How you doing, Joseph? Anything new? Just beautiful, beautiful sky tonight there. How have you been, though? Another bright one. Kate as well there. And I have sent you the FBI files of proof of aliens too. Right, I'm going to look through tonight. I'm going to do that. And A up there, sorry you're late. No worries there. Oh, that was like me yesterday. I was throwing my toys out of the pram yesterday on the stream. But luckily, guys, last night, I was literally, as you saw on the stream, I had enough of technology. I took the computer apart, the streaming computer, and it's one of those things, I didn't do anything technical. I just hit it and took all the bits out and put them all back in, and now it works. So luckily I didn't make it worse. So hopefully it's all going to go there. And it's loads of bright ones. It's very good there. And it's back there. The new news, we've got lots of it there. I'm glad you like the new footage. We've got more information. That's solar weather down there, solar wind speed and stuff. We're looking at some other information we're going to bring in as well. And DM. Oh, excellent there, Oscar. Yeah, I did try earlier, but it just wasn't sending the messages there. And there is new news. Yeah, we've had this massive drop, haven't we, of the first batch of the official documents there. Don't know what's in there yet, and it's likely to not be anything, you know, eureka, slam dunk at the second, but they're going to release more over time. If we can judge by the other releases, we probably will get, if we keep the pressure up there. And managed to get some of our members up for you there, but I can get exclusives if they don't add you. Oh, okay, well, let us know on that one. And A up sent a portal, thank you for that one. A up there, guys, if you are just joining us, we are doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight, and we're coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge. So a long history of weird and wonderful in these guys, lots of movements, and there's still going to be more stars and more movements coming out tonight to there. We're waiting for that blue to go, the sun to go around a bit, more contrast, more detail, hopefully even some beautiful colours from those stars. So let us know what you spot there. Oh, the interactive grid is working there, be free, we've got some activity. So keep that up as well there. Forget block today, monitor your second account there. Oh, the NASA UFO files today too. So the NASA did UFO files as well. So I know we've got the ones, because Arrow website came back up with a good search feature on it, but we had the Department of War. I know there was some NASA stuff within that, definitely from which is going to be interesting to read through tomorrow night. And goal achieved already, guys. Thank you for that one. That's very, very kind of you there. AAB as well, coming in with the roses as well there. And congrats. How are you doing there? Those UFOs files are so fake there. Well, this is the thing. Do we trust anybody? What they're giving us, you know? I think regardless of what's in it, and regardless of what the motivations are that are behind it, what it is doing, for me anyway, I think, is that we're talking about these things in very different ways now, in a more official capacity. So even if the intention there is to distract, is for, you know, they're not trying to give us anything good there, the fact that it's kind of broken that barrier of official sort of recognition, being able to have those conversations more publicly, it's still value there. Now, I really want the proper disclosure there. I want to go, not just there's some interesting things in the sky that we can't explain. I want to see, you know, Alan's passport there. No worries, no, congrats. I think it's a very, very good point. This is the thing, and again, there's going to be lots of opinions. There's lots of motivations around it there. God, there's so much on the screen tonight. I'm liking the new interactive grid, but this is the thing. Is Mr. Money is in? How are you doing? Gone. Good to see you there. Your live wasn't showing, and I'm here now. There yet. TikTok does not like us. We're in their bad books tonight there. And Greer also released new info about Rendlesham. Now that is very interesting there. So I'm a bit 50-50 with Greer. But I think the stuff that he does bring up is very, very interesting there. And is that Constantine there? Thank you for the shares. Guys, it is those likes and those shares that helps us reach more and more like-minded people there, like yourselves. All that tapping away too there. Running all the files through AI as you speak. You'll have to let us know what you come to there. And this is insane here. Gifting and alive is a bit restricted again there. Why is it saying that such a due to reproduced content such as pre-recorded or copied content? It looks too good. Yeah, that's it. It's the actual layout now. It thinks it's bloody pre-recorded. Their stupid AI there. So here's a little bit of a heads up, guys. If you are on TikTok, come all the way over to YouTube. That's where it is now going to be. I mean, we could still be on TikTok for a bit there, but I think in the long run they keep making this platform worse. So jump ship to YouTube there, I think, because yeah, they're absolutely ridiculous there. But Juju as well, thank you for the follow. Good to have you in there. Star of a new tattoo there as well. I know, they're absolutely stupid, aren't they? Heading on over to the tubes now. Got on there, not the YouTube. No, it's a more stable platform. It's a more stable platform over there, and TikTok keeps throwing us up. We'll still be here, but at some point, I imagine they're going to fully get rid of us there. It can't handle that Agent X there. Right, I'm going to pop back over to the tubes there as well. Again, Paul coming in with the excellent the members there. I appreciate the gifts on those ones. It all goes back into the stream there as well. And let's have a look. Oh, there's a few of you that got those ones. Where did we get to in your chat? I'm bouncing between the two chats tonight there, so it'll take me a second to come between them. But let's have a look there. And Liberty there. Around Arcturus, there are several notable deep sky objects there visible with binoculars and telescope. Okay, now, deep sky, are we talking like the normal spacey... Because like oh my god, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the screen there going through the middle. Are we talking like normal astronomical structures, or something that's a little bit more unexplainable there? That's very, very interesting there. And Alan there, and what is the camera you're using again? So it's a Sony A7. It's a very old one, but the trick is the lens. Now there's a really big bright one coming up the side here, so let me have a look on this one. You're right, darling. Oh, okay. Look how big that is. If there's an easy space, but I really wouldn't stress about it too much. I mean, technicality is not great part there, but I think you're not blocking anyone. Look how bright that one is there. Now that is really, really different there. I want a pill not approved on TikTok, you bloody useless bastards. Screw you guys. I don't mind so much about the gifting, but it hides us from people, doesn't show us to other people there. So we miss out on making all of those friends there. Who have we got in? It's jumping ahead. Let me see. Where did we get to there? Oh god, scrolling through there. You ain't good enough to highlight this, but you are, Raf, but you need to be in on the Discord. Are you not in the Discord mod group? Because there's a link. I'll send you the link for that directly after the stream, because there is a link that you can control it there. Or Maya, if you can message him, I don't know if that's where you can send him the link there. Lolly, how are you doing there as well? And Alan, good evening there. Vikings in, and Liberty there. This is where it was, around Arcturus there. But how are we doing, guys? And Paul as well. There is one released like a diamond crystal. And it's very weird. I am so looking forward to going through them and seeing everything's there. I know they was talking about some of the Apollo 17 images where there appears to be UFOs on the moon and stuff like that. That's not necessarily a new one, but it's being here officially sort of recognized. But yeah, we're going to be looking through those tomorrow at 10 p.m. Guys, that'll be over on members and the Patreon for that one. So yeah, guys, especially if you've just been gifted the membership, you can join us over there for that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to read it through in real time with you guys. Get all your thoughts and opinions on all of those. And Grid Watch, I thought you called her a Grid Witch then. I was like, that's a bit strong. I live close to Rendlesham, really, Liberty. So, brilliant. I used to work just down the road from Rendlesham, so I'd drive past it all of the time. They're down in Bordsey and right on the coast. And, oh, yeah, Rendlesham is such a beautiful part, but a very weird part of the country there. In a beautiful way, sort of a mystical sense. Similar to here, but also in a different way there. And Alan there, I was going to set up the 30mm f4 guide scope to see if I can get a wide-field meteor. Now that would be cool. My knowledge around the other stuff is very limited. I literally just brute forced our way through to this, so I know this works, Alan, but I don't know what else does. The woods around Rendlesham are very, very strange. So I never actually went in. I drove through because you can drive right along that path there. But yeah, never actually went into them. I regret that very much now there. And as a YouTuber, Rossi there, what did you think of the UFO files today? So I'm very excited. Not that I think there's going to be a slam dunk in the middle there. Some ET waving in an image, Polaroid of a president. But the principle that we are getting these forms is being talked about more publicly. And hopefully this is the start of some really good releases and recognition. But the fact that we are getting official notifications like this in these sort of terms and with this wording really helps to push the subject out of the weird crew into the realms of possibility there. I'm going to go outside, turn the camera up a bit. Now we've lost that blue, the background light, I will need to turn the camera up to match the brightness there. We should see so much light. I can see some oranges of those stars, no purples yet though. And where are we? Where did we get to in the chat there? And we're doing it there. And how are you doing, Carl? You've made it over to the tubes there. And here come all the scallywags. You're going to be coming off of there. Well, I mean, the only way we can tell TikTok to stop using stupid AI, sort of filtering and moderation is by just walking with your boots there. They don't listen to you at all otherwise. And we had a jet chasing it in the picture there and killing not too far from From Frome? Oh, from me there. Oh, the diamond. So is that the Calvine one? Because I remember that one. It was very, very interesting. Yeah, it's a mirrorless. Just an old Sony A7 for that one. Where are we? Down there. Fast moving object. I'm so far behind on those ones. I've still got to get used to paying attention to the grids that you guys keep throwing up there. And A-Up's in, and Private Tomcat, how are you doing there? We have yeah, you're not in it, Raf. And there. And A-Up there also sent a gifted membership. Thank you there, A-Up. Oh, and to Private Tomcat, get that as well. Thank you for that. I do appreciate that, guys. It all goes back into the stream, and we do normally every 2 weeks, but we're doing an extra one tomorrow. Our deep dives there for our members and supporters in that way. Because they're a smaller group, we don't have to keep introducing it. We can really just get into the meat and details normally on a document or a leaked document or a whistleblower account related to the phenomena there. Not wrong with being called a witch. Well, in modern day, yes. And I have a Sony A7, A3 there, and a free Lumix camera there. The Lumix is very meant to be quite good for astrophotography there. All for the f0.95. That sounds familiar to the lens that we've got there. Sounds very, very close there. So you're quite close, I think, there. God, I wish I had the old A3 there. I'd really love to upgrade our one to the Mark III. Oh my God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like a storm, look, in C and D3 there. All of them converging around that point. The skies are so busy tonight, insanely so there. Sky's getting active now, Viking, it really is, and I think it's only going to get more active as we get into the summer. I think it's only going to be end of September that it calms down again, but it's got so far to go there. There's going to be so much going there. I'll better pick up a UFO on the Discord. Oh, excellent there, Alan. Discord wasn't working earlier, so I'll have to check it. I've got so much to catch up on there. And where are we in? YouTube's in there, Rossi. Carl's there as well. And no worries, it takes me a while to get through the comments, but I do like to read everybody's comments there. So my favourite bit is hearing all of your accounts of the phenomena, but also your knowledge is how we all learn that. And Shan, evening guys, how's it going? Today's drop was, as expected, for the most part. I think they're being cautious and testing the reactions. A few drops before assessing the subsequent drops will be. I think you're 100% right there, because even if they did want to ultimately drop the bombshell there, like the general public has to catch up. They are not all like us there. Good use of the grid. That is a bright one, isn't it? But yeah, so they have to ease the mainstream public into it as well. Everybody's got to catch up, haven't they? And then I think at some point we'll all align, and then we'll kind of all be in lockstep at the right pace to receive the information there. And I get sent the UFO files from Reddit today there, and one of the pages is a hoax there. Oh, so it's interesting again. This is another good point of it. Just because it's coming from an official source there, you know, how competent are they at filtering them out there? Does it mean that, you know, I think they're all going to be, you know, unidentified, they've not been resolved, but, you know, how good are they at filtering out obvious hoaxes? Are they putting stuff in there because they want to manipulate and distract? Probably a little bit from everything there, but just the fact that we are discussing them. Oh, and it's Calvin, it's pronounced the Scottish pitch. That I probably could give that one a go. I'd be awful at it there. So it's Calvin. I'll try and remember that one. Thank you there, Alan. And up there, need the Schumann resonance frequency adding to the data there, and we can have a counter of objects detected. Oh, so yes, you guys will have to add to the counter. Excuse me, but I was thinking the Schumann resonance at some point, so I'll have a see what we can add with that one. I have to find a place where it's available. I can take the data. Anyways, another news. Looks like we are getting a racist prime minister there. I mean, it's. I've got no comment on the state of the politics in everywhere at the minute, essentially. And the info release today has barely made the mainstream media. I mean, are we surprised? Are we very much surprised there? But at some point, it will just get so much, and the general response to it from the smaller section, they'll have to play catch up there, kind of in the way that the mainstream media does politically there as well. It ignores whichever side they don't think is the popular opinion, and then that bubbles up and over, and they go, oh, actually, no, loads of people are interested in that, and then they'll start piggybacking, copying that for rights or wrongs. Where are we? Oh, God, there's more messages there. And the cult of two of zoo specialists there, astro cameras. I have a Nikon D40 for auras and attempts at deep sky scanning. Now that is pretty cool. Far beyond my skill set to use, but I can look at longingly and salivate to them. Okay, this chat is a bit difficult. Hold on, sorry guys. Where's my fucking cursor gone? There it is. It keeps jumping. Oh, you piece. Nothing smooth. Right. Where are we? Oh. Stop it. There we go. Where are we? Down. Got the high-pitched noise again. Well, there's lots going on at the minute there. S&P, was it massive in Scotland there? And where are we? There. And Liberty there. When the new Black projects start flying, the UFOs get reported. Well, there's definitely going to be a correlation with that. I think we've mentioned it as well. Similarly, with let's zoom in on these ones. That's got some colour to it. Similarly, you know, around wars. Now, it makes you think, doesn't it, that let's do. Oh, bollocks! There's that one in the screen there, but I want this one here going above Arcturus. But yeah, so I mean, look, there's going to be more eyes on the skies, and there's also going to be more of that tech that other people haven't either seen used much or at all before. So you're going to probably get an increase in misidentifications there as UFOs, but also, I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it, that the ETs would be interested in those high stress situations here on Earth. And where are we? Let's scroll down there. And love the new server there. Thank you, Dan. Do appreciate that one. As you know, always a risk trying a new one, but hopefully we can see more of the screen and more information at the minute there. Yeah, okay, right. We'll have enough politics out of the chat for now there, because the important thing with this is that regardless of wherever you guys lean, and look, I have my opinions politically as well, and they've changed over time, and I understand everybody feeling passionately either which way, but the whole point of I think this is that we need to remember that this is a place for everybody to come together, because that is what we're really forgetting at the minute. It's the fact that that we don't communicate, and then more sides get fragmented when really we've got a hell of a lot of things in common. We just end up polarizing over the time. There. So I understand the passions, but I think we need to at least have some spaces where we can all hang out together and talk about the space stuff there. Because to be honest, guys, I think the space stuff's more important. I mean, look, we need to deal with our problems here on Earth in real time and all of that sort of stuff there. But, okay, Truce is a Marxist comic. This is the thing, in our community, this doesn't follow political, there's a green one, at all. And I find this very, very interesting, because I say I have my opinions, and nobody will actually guess what they are. I will always disappoint everybody with my political beliefs. Nice, a bit of a green tinge to that. But literally, this is something that does unify everybody there. There are people that are on either which way of the political spectrums with all of these things. And I think it's important that we still come together and we all share in this areas there. It's only when I get tired I talk politics. There. But I'm also an antagonist as well, so I will like to wind people up. Yeah, it's easy to do, and I understand people's passions, I really, really do. But, yeah, I think it's very easy, isn't it, to then to slip down the roads there. There. You're in sick bay. There. And... Exactly, Ayub, exactly. We can always disagree with it, like we can disagree with things about the phenomena as well. But we can all come together around the UFOs, because this is the one thing that's bigger than us. This is literally the biggest thing, our place within the universe, because we're so used to being at the top of the food chain and the ones, in charge, don't have to worry about things. But we might literally not be. And that's what we're all here to discuss, isn't it, there? So, and where are we there? I just wish peace globe. Exactly. And I think these things, look, the one thing that cracked this is the thing I will say, the one thing that cracked my political opinions on things was when, oh my God, that's a bright one, when we realised that our political leanings are more to do with our hemispherical dependencies on the brain, which part of our brain that we use more, and we've got basically a disposition towards open and creativity, or ardent and efficient. And that can predict people's politics more. And you go, it's just basically which muscle you guys have used more. That's a big one, isn't it, there? We're simple creatures. Right, back over to the TikTok. So let's have a look. Where do we get to in the chat there? Have we been forgiven on TikTok? Let's have a look. God, there's a few messages behind now. Blue Nose is in. How are you doing, Captain? Good to see you. And Oscar, you're over there now as well. Right, let's have a look. Where did we get to in the TikTok chat there? I'm just going to pick it up from... Let's pick it up from here, because hopefully I haven't missed too many of you here. But there. How much is the Patreon membership? It's £3, but dying to see it there, Oscar. So don't worry about we don't want anybody ever to feel pressured or anything. It's just it's a way of saying thank you to the people that do like the extra bit. And not everybody can, not everybody wants to, and that's totally cool with it there as well. But on the Patreon itself, it does do a free trial for a month there. So as long as don't use iPhone, because I think that does auto enroll you later there. But if you do it via the website, I think it gives you the free trial and then just automatically puts you into a free tier. So you will be able to catch it there without paying for that one straight away there. And not a camp, excuse me, a camper person, but I would go there to camp there just to see if anything lands. Oh, Rendlesham and that. I mean, I've heard like so many weird things about it as well there. I'm like, I get a bit nervous. I'd love to do a Skywatch from there. It's on our list, but I think, yeah, like, what about all the other things that might be running around out there? Get me some spare POG there and car space and Rendlesham. We still need to get the mystery machine together, don't we, Agent X there? And where are we? Where are we? Let me scroll down there. Did something just disappear? Oh, Rachel. Maybe. So far behind. Sorry, guys, there. I was told to join here for the UFO speed dating. This is the one. Yeah, I'm Agent X, and I'm from Alpha Centauri, and I'm interested in probing. And there. Gone there. I feel like he might have a lot of hidden agenda. They all do there. Can't try. Gone. You're totally right. That is the thing. Whichever side of the argument, and you can take it out of politics. You know, we're human. We have our biases and we have our things there. There is always a hidden agenda. So 100% there. You know, even with this UFO releasing the files there, you know that they're only motivated to do things that, you know, score them points in a self-serving sort of sense there. Hopefully that can work in our advantage at some point. Because I mean, I'm a strong believer that basically this is bigger than us and all of our other stuff. Not that everything's are important there, but if they can use this, it comes out, then, you know, this is what we need there. And how you doing, Susie? Why is the screen so small? So because we're doing horizontal. So if you're over on the TikTok, just about here, there's a little full screen button. You press that and it turns us sideways and you can see us full screen there. And you can pinch to zoom and all sorts of stuff. So it is better, but it looks a bit weird there. Or over on the tubes and it's up the normal way. Let's all sell up and buy a castle, Scott. That I would love to. I would very much. I love to do that there. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you had to pick Gone, I mean, yeah, there. And where are we? Down here, there. Oh, come on, I like you guys. Let's not talk about exactly, Kate. Exactly. And I've just sent you a message, so check. Yeah, I'll have a look over there for that one. Hopefully my messages from earlier will send as well, so you'll catch up with those. It's lagging back. Is it lagging over on the TikTok as well? Oh dear, they're not having it tonight, are they? I'm never yawning. I'm always yawning. Is it only... and it's frozen. That is very, very weird. Explains why. So let's have a look, guys. So TikTok is just kicking us out the door, isn't it? It doesn't want to make it... It's hard to love as a platform. It's hard to love, guys. Let's see if it is still having issues. I know I was far behind on the chat. And now, is it a black screen? What? What? Hold on. Let me just do some troubleshooting there. Oh, you're not getting anything on the tubes either. Hold on, let's check up with the tubes. Are we all good there? About Alan, nothing to worry about. Is the tubes coming through for you guys, all right? Yeah, I think the TikTok is... I think TikTok has had enough for us, guys. So, all right, I'm going to just drop a message to the TikTokers. The tubes might need to be reset for that one there. The YouTube is fine. Thank you there, Peaches. All right. Is it... oh, you see spinning there. Ooh, it's not going on. We're going to head over to the... Yeah, it's not having us there tonight. Anyway, let's just check over. Where did we get up to onto the TikTok? Not sorry, the tubes there. Imagine if they did a Oh, actually, where did I get to? Let's make sure. Can't wait till we can finally say "told you so" to all those that haven't. Oh, can you imagine it? There, they'll come up with their reasons to explain it away, won't they? There, did they actually release that? So they have started to, Dan. Yeah. So the first part of the official release of information around it, and it's very interestingly worded. It's not at all in a cop out. Now, are they trying to build it up as part of that distraction? The actual first files, nothing in there is. Yeah, there's nothing in there that seems to have, slam dunk yet. But it makes sense that they're going to ease us into it to there. Make laugh, not what exactly. And was it YouTube Rossi there? Imagine if they did a disclosure, everything, and told us about the aliens there. The industry would be doomed. It really doesn't matter what the effects would be. I think it depends what disclosure actually is, as in the sense of, there's aliens on a distant planet, and they're fine there. They can't ever reach us, blah, blah, blah. Or if it is that there are, aliens on a distant planet and they're coming to visit us, they're coming to say hello, and they're not very happy. That's very, very different there. But I think as humans, we can adjust, we can adapt. And in the past, we have believed quite confidently that there is alien life close by, intelligent alien life. We thought that Mars and Venus were occupied by intelligent life. We thought we were receiving signals, maybe visitors, and also seeing activity on the surface back in the turn of the last century there. Strike it down. It doesn't cost anything but well, thank you. Strike the like. I do appreciate that, Liberty. Again, it is those likes and shares that does help us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves there. And being an amateur astronomer there, I realise we are pitiful beings compared to great expanse of the universe. And I just hope there will be some context. I second that one, and I really, really do. Still some movement on the screen. Why is that one playing up there? Hold on. But yeah, there's still some movement. Yeah, nothing too interesting yet. But yeah, I mean, we are so microscopic there. We like to think we're above nature, we're bigger than, because we're in this microcosm looking at ourselves, all so close together. But really, and it's similar to the observer effect that the astronauts talk about, don't know, when they have that experience looking down and realizing we all are one. But, we are, sadly, pretty insignificant there, and we need to kind of know our place, but in quite a nice way. I find it quite humbling there. And Paul there, you really understand psychology, and it's more my subject from a further education there. So thank you, that's very, very kind. I'm an amateur psychology interest here. I don't really care who said what, so I'd never do well in an academic sense there. I can't tell you who said what, but functionally, does this mechanism that somebody is describing explain the things that I see in my life and predict the answers from my behavior and other people's behavior? So I can tell you, roughly, to my understanding, what things will do. Can't tell you who came up with the idea though. But I think it's so important there, because psychology is the software, our bodies are the hardware, psychology is the software, isn't it? And it is so important to understand that, and how are we going to interpret the phenomena? Why do we believe what we believe? Why do we see and experience what we see there? Because I think there's a big part that gets played in our experience in that as well. And again, they use psychology as a write-off a lot of the time in the mainstream, but no, it adds to our case. It actually, does hold up quite a lot, and I think a lot of mainstream scientists are coming around to that idea now there. And up there, thank you for the very, very generous super chat there. I do appreciate that. All goes back into the stream there. But don't forget to hit the like and subscribe there, and it all helps. It really, really does, especially when our other platforms kick us off like that, so we don't get a chance over there to meet any more people, because that is the thing here. It's all good hanging out, watching and seeing all the cool things, but it's that getting people in that are going to share those experiences that you've never heard before, that might be that missing piece of the puzzle to your understanding of the phenomena or to your own experience. Like, always reminds me that there's been a couple of people in our community that I've not had an experience, or no, I've not had an experience. And then they'll hear somebody else's and go, wait a minute, no, I had something similar to that. So it's so important that it's a melting pot of ideas, the stomach of the UFO world there, understanding what is going on. And if you are just joining us, guys, we're doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight there, and we're coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, which is right in the heart of Crop Circle country, and just down the road from Stonehenge. They've got an orange one.
Zoom mode activated.
Let's have a look on this one. There we go. So a little bit of a different colour to that one. Nothing dramatic, but we're going to see lots of these objects tonight. Most of them will be, sadly, man-made satellites there. Nice orange compared to some of the others. But not all of them will be. Oh, look at the size of this one. Not all of them will be there. There's going to be different sizes, shapes, speeds, brightnesses, all that sort of stuff there. But what's really going to tell us that actually that thing that we're observing is anomalous, rather than just one of the many, many man-made satellites, is its behaviour, its movement there. Satellites have to follow certain rules there. They're falling to Earth in a big circle. So from our point of view down here, they look like straight lines. They're at consistent speeds. As soon as we see something, zigzag, shoot off at speed, the interstellar handbrake turn, if you will, then we know we have something a little bit more anomalous, and then worth zooming in on there. But if you're new here, do say hello. Let us know where you're watching from in the chat. I'm working my way through slowly. How do you feel about the phenomena there? And if you've had an experience, do tell us away. I'd love to hear about that there. And I'm supposed to be filming with the Night Shift channel at Rendlesham soon. Oh, I know that Night Shift. Yes, very interesting. That'll be so cool there. You'll have to tag us in that one. I don't know if you can tag, can you, on YouTube? You have to let us know, and I'll have to go see there when you get up to that one. I do need to get back to Rendlesham there. Has anyone here had a colonoscopy? Not yet. I'm sure it's on my cards though. And Kate, how are you doing? So is the TikTok dead? Yes. So they didn't officially block banners, but they blocked out the video because they think I'm just playing, I don't know, TV shows back or something. Something silly like that there, because their AI doesn't obviously like the new layout. But I'm incredibly stubborn, and I don't know if I want to go back. I will. I'll figure it out. But damn their AI there. Not me, Alan. Not me either, exactly that. And TikTok is it's not working, yeah, so I don't think he's yeah, a bit far behind, yeah. So I've Peaches as well. Thank you for making the way over here. Yeah, I hadn't noticed until then. I thought it was, but sadly not there. So we're giving up with TikTok tonight there, because it's obviously thinks that we're doing something dodgy rather than making original content, which I find quite the affront there. And it had lights, etc., and it was weird there, Alan. Closed. I have an anal probe. I mean, it's the closest. Had lights on it. That is it's an experience there. Close your eyes and think of Zeta Reticuli. There. You have... you've had that, and it was it weird being gassed out watching it on video? It's okay. On YouTube just had a slight wheel of death. It's jumping ahead on me now. Let's have a look. God, oh, sorry guys, where's it coming to in the chat? It's so far down. Where did we get to? You got a bad feeling there, Maya. Well, hopefully it's more of a highlighting feeling rather than the thing is actually going to be bad. But we'll have to pay attention because there has been a correlation before there. And maybe some nefarious activity happening today there. Lots of ransomware and hacks over in the US there. Don't click on any links today. So, hey up. But yeah, this was... I think Oscar was mentioning this earlier as well, that, and that's why Discord was down probably as well. I'm glad that the tubes is okay there. High-pitched noise again. Is anybody else picking up that one there? 50 watching and 27 likes there. God, slacking, guys. And they're 100%. They can't accept the truth. I think so there. And YouTube Rossi there. They just subscribed there. Thank you. Do appreciate that. Again, we're here pretty much every night, guys. So if it's a clear night, we're doing this, the UFO UAP Skywatch. If it's a cloudy night, we do an alien radio signal hunt. We've got our own dish there, kind of like the film Contact, point it up to the night sky, and we listening out for potential alien radio signals, which tomorrow's weather is looking like it's going to be that. So we're 8 p.m. UK time. We'll probably be doing that for an hour and a half, an hour and 45. And then at 10 p.m. over on the Patreon and the the members here on YouTube now, forget about that. We're going to be doing the deep dive together with you guys as looking into these latest releases, going through the documents there, seeing what there might be there. And so what star is that in the middle of the video there? And it's some of these mirrorless cameras are now seeing space debris, etc. Very sensitive chips. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. You know, I mean, the amount of things that we can see. But that one is Arcturus there, that big, bright, beautiful one. It's in D2 now. And very truthful Tourette syndrome there. So yeah, I think it is. Yes, 4 sensors. The A7S Mark 1, I think. There. 2 moving opposite. Oh, very interesting. Keep up the good spot in there. You can still gift towards Alan's food bill there, yeah. And the opposing, see the opposing movements there proves it's not all satellites there from one. So yeah, that is very true. I mean, definitely not. I mean, there are many orbits, aren't there, for the satellites, depending, and sometimes they can even go reverse as well, depending on what their requirement is. Now, we have the high bar of we're looking for the anomalous movement to call it a UFO, but that is not necessarily the only thing there. You know, we might be writing off a proper UFO up there. We're just not going to be able to say for sure without the anomalous movement there. Anything, I mean, ET travelling from A to B is going to be a straight line most of the time. It's the most efficient path, isn't it? And it's going to reflect that sun's light back like those satellites and things. So, yeah, it's going to look very similar until it does the movements. We might be writing a few off there and see the opposing. No, I've done that one as well there. And Arcturus Alan. Is that right, Alan? Arcturus, is that your first name? And there, so many eyes on the skies there as possible. For exactly, the more eyes on the skies, the better there. The more we have a chance of spreading the word, seeing things as well. And I've got this theory,
zoom mode activated,
as well, that it's around that, you know, the observer principle in quantum mechanics there. For me, I say theory, that's too strict. But look, the more people looking, the more real it is, the more observers are, the more. Have you ever seen one of those films that where they're trying to erase somebody from the timeline there and all of the pictures of them fade away and stuff like that? Well, imagine it like that, but, you know, we're here tonight watching all of these things. This object, this movement is being weaved into the timeline more and more and more. Each person is magnified and harder to remove, but making it more real in that quantum physical sense there. So the more eyes, the better, 100% there. And Peachy there, what I don't understand is how the radio signal system you use doesn't pick up on anything there. Yeah, the paranormal ones pick up on stuff. Is there a reason why there? And surely there could be a crossover or something. So it's a very, very good question. So there's a few reasons why. It depends who specifically there. So we search a very particular frequency, which is the hydrogen line. Now, nobody's allowed to transmit on that line, so they don't make technology. It's illegal for ham radio users or anybody to broadcast a signal on it because it's so monitored by, you know, astronomers and things like that. So we're immediately going to be cutting out the human interaction there. And there's a lot of places that will do things like this, but they will not necessarily purposely, but they won't kind of make sure they've got a clean environment there. So they might see a signal and then get excited about it when there is a thing. So the reason we don't search like 1.6 is for that very reason. There's a long history of there potentially being anomalies related to the phenomena. Maybe UFOs kind of use that frequency for whatever purpose. But if we do that and we get a signal 1.6, we don't know if it's aliens or if it is somebody using, you know, Earth-based communication. We just can't filter it out. So a lot of people won't tell you that is a possibility, and it's always a signal. So that's why we purposely make sure we're on a quiet channel. Now, they are very, very rare as well. You know, they don't happen a lot of the time. There, it is a numbers game, and that's why, like in the opening to Contact, the film there, or, you know, Apple TV Pluribus there, that recent series, they're all sitting around bored in the radio control room. They're waiting, and then all of a sudden they're startled when they get a signal, because they're rare even for the big telescopes there. Splitting went 2 ways now. Maya, what time was... Oh, Alan, sorry. Now, that is very interesting, because that change of direction, if something's splitting like that, is 100% a satellite just doesn't do there. And Ken as well there, I'm sure the universe is full of intelligent life there. It's just been too intelligent to come here, obviously, Clark. I mean, who could argue with that there? How you doing, Ken? And where are we there? Ghost in chat there, how are you doing there? And Liberty, I'm good friends with Xander from Night Shift there. Oh, really? So, yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember Night Shift. Yeah, I've been on the channel for a few... Awesome. That is pretty cool there. See, that is one I watch them occasionally. I watch Night Shift occasionally. I like his voice for it. It's quite relaxing, I find. And I have everything turned up loud. Is it pretty quiet coming through? Or is it just drowning out the internal signals there. Oh, but paranormal evidence can be picked up from multiple different radio signals there with multiple different devices. If it's just alive to know where there isn't a crossover. So this is the interesting. A lot of those, like if you're talking the paranormal ones specifically, like the ghost stuff, the spirit boxes and things like that. So they work on basically, if you think of the radio dial, it's a very good question, Peaches. So I appreciate you asking this. So if you think of the radio dial, like your old-fashioned radio dial, there we roll it across to select a different station. That section that you see on your radio is actually just like a small chunk of a much bigger line of numbers, and that section there is allocated for our radio communication purposes, like our radio stations that we'll listen to, Radio 1, Radio 4, Jazz FM, all that sort of stuff there, and they get a number in a certain area where they're allocated. And the same is true for like ham radio operators for satellite to ground communication. They get a little section of this bar, but our home radios and those spirit boxes, they only work on the FM and the AM bands there for those the commercial radios, so they're always bouncing between those channels, whereas our one, we're on one particular channel and we're right down the lower end because we don't want to pick up any of those stuff there, because that's the thing, that's human based for us. It might be in a paranormal sense, as they say, they make the argument with spirit boxes, maybe the spirits are helping decide which channel to pick up from, but they are still fragments of actual radio that's being played, and it bounces across all the different channels. And yeah, so but with us, we're listening to one specific one because this is where we think we are most likely to hear a message from ET there. So we don't get any of those other interferences because they're all on higher up, way away from this. So it's purposely kept quiet from human stuff, which makes it very interesting that if we do get anything, again, it's quite rare, but if we do get it, then we don't have to worry nearly as much that it could be interference there, which is a big issue for these sorts of things there. And Alan there, Paul as well. Oh, what's the big blob in D2? It's probably moved around a bit now, but that is Octurus there, star. So we've heard of the Octurans. They're a theorized race that may be visiting people, a species of alien. Then that is where they're purportedly from. So if that is correct, guys, look, if I zoom in, I'll check which bloody monitor I'm on tonight. If we zoom in on this one,
zoom mode activated.
There's Octurus there. So between us right now, between us and this star, could be some intergalactic travel there at the speed of light. Just between us and them, we could be looking right at it there. But a lot of those stars in the night skies, and suspiciously the close ones before we knew how close they were, are the ones where a lot of the activity is reportedly coming from there. And Maria and I are having loud things around us. It's really bad. As in the sense, I mean, there is stuff going on tonight, well, today as well, isn't there? So maybe it's connected to all of that. And Viking there, what are the glowing spirals there? Lots seen over the near Finland night skies there, not the auroras. 2 more spirals. So I don't know specifically, Viking, but I know we had one over here a couple of years ago, and they did say that it was something to do with a SpaceX launch. So it might be to do with that, but I don't know. There. It's got the Stellarium online there, Nocturus. It shows the satellites, but it does very, very cool. And you should be actually, I think there's like a few second delay, but you might be able to start to map some of them. We used to do it. We used to have a side by side, and I'd bring it in and go, look, which ones are we seeing? But then when we got to just the sheer amount, like there's 14 or more on the screen, but I can't track all of them there. But it's a very good app there. It's a Stellarium. Right, where did we get to? God, it's jumping ahead of me, guys. Take me a few minutes to get through the chat. Where are we? It's behind me. I only have the northern view for scopes there. And what's the... Oh, what channel? So we searched those at 1.420. So the hydrogen line there. Right down at the low end. They need chocolate exactly there. How are we doing, Jamie? Good to see you. And my old homeland, Essex there. How are the skies in Essex tonight there? Sorry it's taking me so long to get around to you. I am catching up ever so slowly. Raf, I could agree with you there. I need some as well there. Loving the hashtags there. Alan as well. Starpar. There, guys. It is the likes and shares. It does help us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves there. And the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together there. And thank you, and thank you for the brilliant question, Peaches. Thank you there. It said, if you've got the question there, somebody else in the chat will also have that question. They'll be grateful that you've asked for it there. So there are no silly questions. Ask away there. Haribo straws. I've not had Haribo straws. What's that? Is it like a drinking straw that's flavoured? There. And K-Dub there, 15,000 people at Butler with cell phones plus news crews recording. There were 16 full seconds from the first to the last shot there. Why is no single frame of video of the crooks? What's that? Oh, no idea what's going on there. Not into the news there, but it doesn't sound like it's a good time there. Had a headache since this morning there. Started with an ocular migraine. So you're all connected in that sense. So, I mean, you know, if they are releasing information, that in of itself can be upsetting and disrupting to our culture and our civilization. Maybe it's something along those lines. It's the response to the things going on, or maybe there is something from that that's going to come. Oh God, it keeps jumping ahead on me there. Where are we? Jesus Christ. I'm nearly at the bottom. I'm nearly at the bottom there. And yet again, this channel is with the right tech for the right job. Thank you there, Shan. I appreciate that. Although this is the new layout here. You should see the other ones that we've got. I've actually, for our deep dives, I brought in the prediction markets. You know, you've heard about all those. I don't bet on them. I put money on them. But I do find it crowdsourced information quite interesting there. So we have a running total showing what the prediction is for disclosure. So any other ideas of information that we could either swap out or replace some of those with, do let us know there. I'll have to fix it for TikTok though, because they did not like it. They thought this was fake content there. Oh, actually, Sam is the presenter. That's me. Yep. And thank you. I appreciate that one. But it's you guys that come in with the knowledge that nature puts on the show. You guys have the knowledge. I'm just the middleman that connects all the dots there. So I don't get any of the credit. It's you guys with the awesome question and knowledge. That's in nature with the show. Reading through there. Oh, solar flare. I mean, looking at the solar flare, we've actually now got... Oh, no, I've got rid of the solar flare index, didn't I? The solar flare index, we do actually have that, and that's on... God, which one is that? That's another bit of information we do pull in. But when I checked earlier, it was on medium to moderate risk of solar flares. But maybe there's all of these things in our local stellar environment that we need to consider. There, James, there, nice and clear. And thanks for the shout out there, Pastor Channel. Oh, thank you there, James. I do appreciate that as well there. But again, any questions, ask away, because that's what makes it. It's the discussion whilst we're waiting for the action to happen on screen there. So as soon as I get to the bottom of this chat, I'm going to nip downstairs and just crank up the brightness a touch more so we can see ever so slightly more, because now it is getting so dark. We're having to turn the camera's brightness settings up so we can see more and more. It looks good now, but it can look better there. And Mayor coming in with the hashtags is the likes, the shares, the hashtags, the tapping away, all that sort of stuff that helps us reach more and more people there like yourselves. What was that one? Was it too long there? And the sun caused the last human extinction 200,000 years ago, was it? What one was that? Which extinction event? That's very interesting, because there are so many of these, oh, that's an orange one, of these weird extinction events. We don't fully know the causes. This one's like a flasher. It's definitely changing in brightness here, but orange, look at the difference, the contrast in colour of this one versus all of the others that we have seen tonight. They've all been quite white or a grey in colour, but remember, they're all reflecting the sun's light back to us. Not having illuminated themselves there, they are reflecting that light back, they're not emitting light. So why do we get such different colours now? Orange is particularly interesting because they do think that, visually to us, that's how a lot of UFOs would look there. They would ionise plasma around the craft as part of their propulsion, which would glow, be an involuntary glow. And yeah, look very orangey red to us. So maybe that is something that we are seeing when we're seeing those orangey ones there. Explain why there are relatively so few of them. But yeah, tell us more about the extinction event, because there's quite a few interesting ones there that, again, the answers to them are not quite clear. And then there was one around the time that they think that the Mars, I think it's one of the early ones there, and it's not fully year to year like correlated, but when they think that nuclear holocaust happened on Mars, that they've got that evidence from the elements there, they do think that there was a similar, not a nuclear one, but there was still an extinction event here on Earth that was very, very close to that there. You're being good today, Kate. Well, I'm glad to hear it there. And are you unable to enable closed captions? I don't know. I think it is... I think you have to do it as an individual somewhere in the settings of your phone. Let's have a look. Is this it? What's this one? No, that's... let's have a look. Oh, no, that's not the story I want to find. Where are we? Let's have a look. There's a button around there for close fit, I think. Because somebody asked me once to change them to Spanish. Let's have a look. Right. Where is the options? Oh, no, look. Yeah, there. It won't. Why are they unavailable? Stream settings. I'm not allowed to. It's greyed out for me here. So sadly I can't. I have to look into that one off the stream, yeah, but for some reason I can't. Maybe it needs to be done before the stream. There, I'll have to have a look into it for next time though. Thank you for the highlight there. Up there. More stars. All right, I'm going to run downstairs and just get on with that there. Ditch the talk there. YouTube is the way. I'll tell you. Thank you, Liberty, there. The problem is we've got some people that have been with us for such a long time and they can't for some reason get on with YouTube there, which is, you know, pretty sad, because we don't want to abandon people. It's about making it available as much as possible. But I'm at the end of my tether with TikTok. It's a ridiculous platform there. So I would like to, but I don't want to abandon some people that supported us for so long there. And what is in Coca-Cola there? Iridium satellite. Oh, now I need a drink. I'm going to go pick up a can whilst I'm downstairs there, Alan there. It's still not okay. Explain why I have so much of it though. Yeah, the button shaded on this side as well there, so maybe it's something I have to set up beforehand, but I'll have a look into it there. Right, I'm down to the bottom of the chat now. So quickly, just before I go off and crank the settings up on the stream, guys. Actually, is Alan going to work? Alan does work. There we go. Right, okay, before I bugger off to change the settings on the camera, welcome. We're doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch, coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, which is right in the heart of Crop Circle country, and just down the road from Stonehenge. Ancient and mysterious landscape of a long history of the weird and wonderful in the skies. So, keep your eyes peeled there. I'm just about to go change the camera to increase the brightness, get some more objects in shot there, but keep following across the screen. There we've got the grid, you can shout it out, and then the mods can highlight those squares as well. But for the second, right, hang around, do say hello in the chat as well. We'll catch up when I get back up here. But yeah, say hello, let us know where you're watching from in the chat there, and then yeah, look, have a talk with Alan. I don't take any responsibility for what he says, our intergalactic leader, but he'll stare into your soul. Alan, you're in your spaceship.
It's me, Alan, the real star of the show. Remember to join our Discord. Link in our TikTok bio.
Alan, have you been behaved? Well behaved, Alan. Oh. How has he been? Hope he didn't say too much. And if you are just joining us, said we are doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch. We just put the brightness up. It's always a bit of a trade-off. You don't want to wash out the middle of the screen, but you want to make sure you're capturing all of the objects. I need to breathe. Hold on.
Zoom mode activated.
I am so unfit. There you go. This is a nice steady one moving there. Quite bright, quite consistent. But remember, we need to see it do something strange. Something a satellite just cannot do there. Stop dead, shoot off at speed, change its course, its trajectory. Anything like that. That will tell us it's not one of the many, many man-made satellites up there. Oh, I see the interactive grid. I think with the delay on YouTube, because it's a little bit longer than the normal lag, it might... oh, that's a bright one. It might be worth predicting the square ahead for the timings. This one just flared up really, really bright. It's gone down now. Well, it's going down to nothing. Look. That one up there. Zoom back out. See it contextually. Nice bright one up there. Lots of activity in the skies. They are alive tonight. And Alan, you sold me. Had to get a nice cold can of drink. Where do we get to in the chat then? Let's have a look. Where do we get to? You sold me there. Where are we? There. I'm very tempted, Raph, very tempted. I just don't want to abandon some of the OGs that don't get off of TikTok there, sadly. The wonderful knowledge, super modded. Up, exactly. There. Watching from... Oh, Cleavy's near Blackpool there, Jack. We've got a few up your way. How are your skies tonight? And then their social media sucks, and to be honest, it lost what the internet was all about there. I like this chat here about the universe. And Alan, our Lord and Master. Exactly, Alan, as well. I mean, it's nothing about the name matching. But, you know, you're right. I was thinking about this recently, and I mean, the internet has been such a fantastic tool, but it definitely has come at quite a high price, not just for me, I think for other people as well. And for me, I can plot when it changed from when the internet was telling me what to look for to what to see, versus when I had to sort it and hunt for that information out myself. There, obviously, it's not as convenient. You know, not exposed to as many things there, but that was the real difference. I think that was the turning point there, going back to the old days where you'd have to go and find a forum for something that you were interested in there, and then read through and then be referred to something or somebody else there. It's the modern day serving up discovery mechanisms. I think that's definitely for me there. It's bugging it there. And the last Cockney, how are you doing tonight there? And if these speeding things are satellites, then why don't the stars move quickly? So the star, you're a very good point there, last Cockney. So what's happening is, like, so imagine if you're driving, or if you're on a train, you look out the window and those lampposts are moving fast, you know, really down your side. They're moving very, very fast, but the hills and trees in the distance are moving much slower. They are moving, but because of that distance effect. So if you actually play back the stream, one of our last ones, and you just drag the thing along, you'll actually see the night sky move quite slowly, because they're so far away and these objects are much, much closer. One of the really interesting ones is when we do our moon watch and we get the moon up. Now, technically it's the Earth that's moving, but it looks like the moon. And I mean, you can see it's full screen and it's just moving at that sort of speed across the screen. It's really, really interesting to see that in action there. Promises. Highlight what now? Kate, on the grid. You know, the interactive grid button there, because I think because of the delay. So if you see something, you know, in C2, you might have to go to B2 because of the time you've seen it. It's already moved at the time that it gets it to display it there. So you might have to predict where the object of interest is going to be in about 10 seconds time there. And B2, good spotting there, Cockney. And where did we get to in the chat? Sorry, it keeps jumping ahead of me there. Oh, got to go, Viking. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It is awesome to see you in. We'll catch you later on there. Remember, tomorrow, guys, it's going to be 8 p.m. UK time for the SETI stream for about an hour and 45. Then at 10 p.m. we're doing the special deep dive into all these documents that have now been, and the photographs and videos that have been released relating to the phenomena. We're going to... Oh, my God. Is that the ISS? Somebody check. This always gets me.
Zoom mode activated.
Wow. Look at the size of this one. It's got to be the ISS coming over. Look, and compared to those other satellites there. Where is the ISS now? So if this is the ISS, which I expect it is, then you see why it always gets me. Okay, we're looking We're looking in the right place. Yeah, I think that is the ISS. It says it's over France. But that is the right angle, I think, for it now. So you can see why that always sets me off. First time I've seen the ISS this year. This is pretty cool. But yeah, actually, yes, Stellarium will show us, won't it? Hold on. Yes, the ISS. See how well that catches me out every time, because it's so big and so bright and so fast. Ha! It didn't catch me out this year. Pretty cool to experience that one together, isn't it? That's pretty cool there as well. Oh, is that a green one? Covered in yellow. A nice green tinged one again. Green could be related to Walk Drive. But yes, tomorrow at 10 PM UK time on members and Patreon there, we're going to be looking at those deep dives there. So you guys do join us for that one as well. We'll be reading through all of those documents together, really getting into the nitty gritty with that. Right, where did we get to? Sorry, I'm not caught how to work this chat. It keeps jumping ahead of me. It's very small there. We got to that bit. Viking was off there, and his mind numbed everything. Is that me? And Starlink's going by. It's good spot in there, Alan. Defo live on Stellarium. So on most of them will be Starlink, but yeah, trying to match them up. That's pretty good going there as well. And Shan as well there. How long has this channel been up, and how many times have you spotted stuff like that ticks all of the boxes for the anomalies? Very good question. So we started almost a year ago, and it was only on TikTok. We only came to YouTube when TikTok kind of threw us off for the first time, and it's a bit of a backup in October. So we've kind of been running streams quietly there as well. But we really, it was June. End of June, I think we really started. We got all the settings right and could see the things. We've seen lots of anomalies. We've seen... trying to think, I mean, what our ratio is. We see a lot of the mid-range stuff, as you'd expect there. Some of the light anomalies, some of the flashing. That's a bit strange, but it's not a slam dunk there. But we definitely see... That's another big bright one as well. Again, this is the perfect case for the mid-range anomalies there. Like, this is on a different orbit. You know, it's going top down there like that, so it's quite a rarer orbit there. It's more of an orange colour, but it's not doing the movement. That movement would tell us 100% it's not a satellite, but it is going. That is interesting, but we can't. So we see a lot of that mid-range sort of stuff. But yeah, the actual proper anomalies there, they do happen, and if over summer they happen quite regularly. I'm trying to think what our ratio is. I mean, at least once a week we're seeing something that's a little bit better than that there. And the slam dunk stuff. That's a good question. Is it quarterly, maybe? Some sort of frequency like that, which is what you'd expect with the phenomena. If the skies are absolutely buzzing with UFOs all of the time, multiple times a night, then that's probably worrying if there's more of them than we see planes. It's a good question there. And Living Light, how are you doing there? And it's true that a new crop circle reported at Jack Castle Plantation, near Alford Tower and Somerset. Excellent. We've started crop circle season, guys. Excellent. I'll have to check that one out. There. The Stellarium is very, very good. It's a pain, though, to line up there. It is coming up to that year. So I think the first stream that I properly recorded was like June something. I have to get my spreadsheets up. But we'll do a special something for that one there. And Alan there as well. It's Panston's phone there, but live app. Oh, yeah, it's a pain on the phone. Yeah, but it's trying to get that alignment when you're spinning it and it wants to take you in a different orientation. I'm like, no, just zoom in. It was really difficult, but it's a very, very good app. I'm hoping, guys, in theory it should be possible that you can connect basically technologically to Stellarium. And if you can let Stellarium know which part of the sky you're looking at, we could then cross-reference that information and label them live. It's very tricky to do, but it is definitely on the lift there. And it's a beautiful sky, Living Light. It very, very much is. How have you been? Are you looking forward to the weekend? Oh, there's a flash right in A2, right on the edge of the screen there. So see if that one repeats there as well. It's an ancient Celtic name there, Alan. Alan had to pick. He landed here on Earth, and he was like, "What was the best human name?" And it was Alan there. So it could be there. And Paul again, thank you for the for gifting another membership. Do appreciate that one, Paul. I appreciate all of them, Paul. There, so it all goes back into stream, helping us improve on what we do there. But I said all you new members will be able to join us. I said tomorrow night, 8 PM there for 10 PM there for the deep dive there, making the most of it. And because it's a private stream. Basically, we all just get in when we're there. We don't have to keep introducing it. We all know each other, and we can just really get into the details on the phenomena. That is a bright one coming down the middle of there. Yeah, Carl's a Blackpool. That's who I was thinking of there, Carl, as well. And can't even predict where I'll put my vape next. You need a tracker for that, Kate, there. And that was a big one, wasn't it, there? Hi, thank you, Mao. It's the ISS, yeah. I thought it's too good to be true, but you can imagine my reactions when that comes on the screen, right? Then I'd never seen it before, although it did get me twice in a row. Which means we probably should see it over the next week or so as well. Once we're in ISS season, we're in it there. And I forget every time, oh my God, we got one, guys. And it's the ISS. Alan means a little rock. Does it really? I didn't actually know that one. How can the satellites shoot all different directions there on the screen, and would they all rotate the same way as the Earth? So it's a very good question there, Colin. And you know, I didn't know the answer to this one until very embarrassingly recently, especially I've been doing this one. But they can do different directions, and they can do actually reverse and different angles and stuff. And apparently that is basically whatever their purpose is. So for example, the Starlink ones, they want them to be as low to the ground as possible without falling down, because then there's less distance for the signal, so they can have almost really fast internet connection there. Spy satellites or weather satellites want to be quite high up because they want to get a bigger surface area out there, but also those angles have different purposes there as well. So like if you're doing a mapping satellite, you want it kind of going around the equator or like a normal bit, so you get all the coverage there. But that meant for a long time that the poles, they didn't have any photographic data at the top of the poles because they didn't have a satellite that went over the top. But nowadays they can. They cost a lot more to do, very difficult to go against the Earth's rotation, but they can do it depending on their purposes there. But it is a lot rarer. Most of them just go prograde, I think it's called there, with the Earth's rotation in a nice simple orbit there, all at different heights and altitudes there. So a very good question there, Last Cockney. And is that Bill's in as well there? I had a guy tell me he's a recurring nightmare of an alien drilling into his head. Oh my God. And some people do say that they might not necessarily be nightmares. They might be, screened memories or just flashbacks of these sorts of things. Not necessarily. But God, that would be a horrible one, wouldn't it, there? To think, this is what we do with animals when we study them. We go pick them up, don't we, and do things, even if it's like for a conservation reason there. Maybe we drug them and, perform surgeries on them for their own benefit, but they don't know. It's got to be so similar to that then if the abduction phenomena is happening, as a lot of people say there. And satellites don't all move the same direction. No. So they're all different, but I think the main one is it prograde? I think there. And the triangle set of lights was the best. So the triangle, it always comes to mind. Oh, we got a green one coming down again in that strange orbit there.
Zoom mode activated.
Come on, you bastard. There we go. Right, come onto screen. That's a nice green one in colour, isn't it? Look, it matches our theming and our design. Very, very interesting there. Again, green can be a signature. Potentially, they think of warp drive being used. So that might be one of those differences. And look, the most efficient path between 2 points is a straight line. So ET would be travelling in a straight line. We are asking ET to realise he's left the gas on and do an interstellar handbrake turn over the screen. But it doesn't mean if he doesn't do it that it isn't ET there. We just can't say for sure. Triangle, yeah, that was a good sighting. So that was the typical 3 dots in a triangle formation. And it just came out above my little box and just floated away. And it looked like behind the triangle formation you couldn't see the stars when it went in front of them. We have later seen a satellite formation of 3 where you could see the stars. We saw that a few times, but the first one was, I think, was anomalous there, one of the best. But that big bright orange ball that we saw, was that in October? No, November time, a bit later on there. That was a good one. And
is that one me? Or one with Teddy on the shoulder?
Maybe. Oh yes, that's a point, Kate. Look. So Kate has given us a reverse poster, thank you, Kate. So now it's around the right way. Our little thing, community there. So it's a lot of you guys, some of the OGs over there from TikTok there. If he went down and moved the camera up to the left, we could see... So, to the left, we can do that. Well, if it wants to work. He says... Oh, it's moving, it's moving. Can point it up as well if it wants to, but it's having trouble doing this at the minute. There we go. What are we seeing in this patch of sky? It's a different patch. Maybe we'll spin it around. Again, there. Oh, bollocks. Sorry, it's gone ahead of me now. Right. Oh, to the right. Hold on. We have done Jupiter quite a lot to the right. Let's have a look. Before, I don't think we can get it now. I think Jupiter at the minute is over the most of the town, which is quite light polluted, and there's a big tree in the way. So let's go back this way. One day we'll upgrade this, but just for this motor, it's about 250. You see the brightness difference? That was slightly over town. This is a bit further from where we were. Can I point it up? Is it going to go? Or it struggles with the weight of the camera to point it up and down. So that's Octurus back in the middle. Maybe we'll point it around a bit more. Don't want to push my luck with it there. And Shen there, the triangular lights there. Wow, that sounds amazing there. Did you get it clipped and uploaded? So, yeah, I think those ones, the earlier clips are only on the TikTok, though. So that's where we was just posting them. One day I will get around to posting and clipping the things that we catch to YouTube for shorts. But I haven't got around to it yet. But yeah, lots of them in the early clip. There's loads of satellites and things, you know, what we thought were interesting and cool. But yeah, those anomalous ones were posted over there on the TikTok there. It might be because we did do some early stuff with shorts on here, so there might be some over there on here on this channel, but I'm not really sure there. And hundreds of Starlinks re-enter the atmosphere every year there, by the way. It's terrible. The junk the atmosphere is absorbing their heavy radioactive metals. So this is another consideration, isn't it? There, you're totally right on that. Messing with the balances of these things, but yeah, they drop them. They have them so low that they actually do drop quite a few. 167 so far. Wow, that's a lot more than I thought. Thank God they can put them up so fast, though. But yeah, what is the cost of all of those things, of burning up there? How long does that material stay up there? Is it bedtime for Mayor? Thank you, Mayor, as always, for joining us there. Have some rest, and hopefully that noise will go, and hopefully everything will be all right for that one there. But we'll see you tomorrow there. Oh, you got to go there. Little bit, and he's getting on my nerves. So catch you later, Kate, as well. Don't worry. Hopefully you have a better day tomorrow there. It did arrive. It did arrive, Kate. So thank you very much for that one. It literally last thing today. I almost forgot in all of the hubbub. The ISS should be visible to us 5 times over the next 2 days there. Now that will be cool to catch again. It's always phenomenal to see. God, look how dark it's gone now. I've only moved the camera around slightly there. And Wayne's in there, and I streamed today. Thank you, Wayne. And you'll be pleased, we've done it as well for the SETI stream. So the radio signals, we've actually got a way now of having it all displayed correctly. So it's exactly like this, but you're getting all of the data in correctly, and some new stuff as well. So we do listen to feedback. How are you doing, Wayne? And okay, no, actually, am I up to date with the chat? Oh my God, I'm not used to it because we're not on TikTok now. So the downside of this new layout is, as I said, that if you were on earlier, you heard me swear, TikTok thinks that it is a repeated stream. I assume it's all the text just repeating over and over again. So maybe we'll try varying that. Yeah, so we're not on TikTok at the minute. We're just on over here there. Very good. Thank you, Kate, and thank you again for doing that, Kate. Hopefully you'll have a good day tomorrow there. We'll catch you later there. And living like that. Oh, Sam, when was the last time you got flowers? Anyway, here's some for you there. Thank you. Thank you, living like, and thank you as well for the previous super chats as well. But also, I noticed the other day as well, I think it was you, did... on the coffee, buy me a coffee as well. I've already checked that one, but thank you, living like. It's very, very kind. They do appreciate that. Flowers. Hey, I ain't going to turn it down. I think appreciate these things. But appreciate that. It does all go back into the stream. They're helping us improve what we do. So do appreciate you there. But also just appreciate you guys hanging out, asking your questions and chatting away. And that reminds me, if you are just joining us, we are doing a live UFO, a UAP, a Skywatch tonight there. And we're coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, which is right in the heart of Crop Circle country, just down the road from Stonehenge. So a very ancient, mysterious landscape with a long history of the weird and wonderful. These skies are absolutely... alive with the phenomena. So yeah, do call out what you see there. I wonder, I think Ayab, you're still in the chat, aren't you, with control of the grid? I need to pay more attention to it because it's out in the corner of my screen there. But yeah, we can, if you spot something, you can drop it in the chat, and maybe if you're lucky, then one of the mods will highlight that on the grid there so we can catch it and yeah, all see it together there. We can zoom in on the good stuff there, but it is now very dark and very, very clear. I'm tempted to go outside and turn the brightness up again. And this, I don't think I've ever had this camera brightness turned up this much. Like, even last year during the peak of the summer, I don't think we had it clocked up this high. So in fact, I think I am. I'm going to experiment quickly with that. So I'm going to leave you with Alan again briefly, and I'm just going to see how far we can push this without washing out the quality there. Alan, you can take over.
Remember to join our Discord. Link in our TikTok bio.
One day I'll get a remote for that camera and I won't have to keep running up and down stairs. So it's a bit of a trade-off there. It's a little bit brighter in the middle, but in theory we can see those fainter objects a little bit easier there. So hello everybody, if you are just joining us, we're doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight. We're coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, which is right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge. So look out with us tonight for the weird and wonderful, the strange and anomalous. This little town that we're in, the reason why we label it all up there is because it's had a UFO flap here in the 60s and the 70s there. It was called the Warminster Thing, and it had absolutely everything there. I thought I knew everything about the UFO stuff, you know, at least all of the big events, but never heard of this. And when moving here, you can imagine my surprise and joy finding out that this was a hotspot and still is a hotspot for activity there as well. So yeah, had landings, abductions, crashes. No, crashes was the only thing it didn't have there, but missing time, abductions, aliens telephoning
Zoom
people
mode activated.
from public phone boxes, lost time, dead animals, you name it, this phenomena had it all there. So these guys are very active. Help us spot the anomalous. Oh, that's a nice bright one there coming in from the top there in C1? Yeah, C1. Going to go into B2 there. And Shan, it's a lot of traffic, but it is, the skies are alive. It's a very, very good night for it there. And Alan there, what do you use to stream onto the YouTube there? I mean, with the external cameras, I've always wanted to set up a live sky cam. So that is one of the difficult parts, is getting it to do it reliably there. So we just use a PC and bring the feed in from the camera, but it's always an issue, and getting the quality from the camera. I mean, this camera is actually a lot clearer than this, but by the time it goes down a very long cable, I just can't seem to preserve the quality. So I'll have to let you know when I figure it out properly, but essentially just a very long lead plugging it into a PC there. And I don't know, but I saw another channel where he's looking at the sun daily, and that's also great, but as fun for user-friendly as this place. Oh, thank you, Shan. But I do love some of those. Some people have got some cracking telescopes, and the detail they can get around the moon and stuff like that, it is just insane there. So I would love to be able to do a bit of that as well. But I want to make sure, because you know, that when we do get the pennies to put back in, I'm putting it in to making sure we're getting the best shot of the night sky. Like Skywatch is first, looking for the UFOs, making sure we're improving that, and then beyond that we can look at the other things. So there's a telescope is on the list, but it's a bit far down the train. We really want to do the infrared properly. We did try the other week doing some infrared watching there, but it just wasn't. It was too small a part of the sky there, so we'd really like to upgrade this camera to be able to see in infrared, which is possible, but we have to post it off to an engineer to make the changes to that one, because the phenomena is itself is meant to be very, very active in the infrared, that part of the light spectrum that we don't see as humans. But yeah, the phenomenon is meant to be very, very busy in there. And GWAC, how you doing there? And Susie, oh, you made it over to hit this side. Good to see you in there. What's the red dot in A3? So A3 is is that this one? Because that one I think is a bucket pixel. I tell you what, it actually doesn't look like a bucket pixel. Well, put it this way. Let's see if it moves. All right, if we move and that stays exactly the same place, we'll know it's a dead pixel. Yeah, there's a buggered pixel, that one. Good question, though. It used to be in the middle of the screen. I think there still is one around there somewhere, but this camera is quite old. There, GWAC is in the house, and Liberty are there. I used the YOLO live stream box. I've got my eye on one of those. I forgot about those, actually. I haven't tried them yet. But when we do our on-location ones, that would save us a hell of a lot of work. A hell of a lot of work. So I keep seeing them on eBay, and I'm like, and they go too much. But it's on the list there. So maybe that would be a good shout. Because they do look like really cool tools there. So there, Alan, that might be a good shout. The YOLO box there. And I will donate my C-Star S52 if you can come down and view the solar eclipse in August the 12th there. I have the S30. I mean, I would just love to see the solar eclipse. What, you up in Scotland way, aren't you? I like an excuse for a bit of a road trip there, Alan. There, a hot picture, that's the one. Did I just see something in the corner of my eye? Did my contact lens just shift? Something around the bright one. My contact lens just do something weird there. The hot pixel, that's the different temperatures. I'm learning all this. I think you could probably very much believe that I misted it up a couple of lenses last year, not really appreciating how all of this works and different temperatures coming in. Luckily, we managed to save them though. Should be sorted now for that one there. Oh, the Ultra, that's far too out of my range there. When we were doing, the problem is with TikTok, because that was our primary channel. Funnily enough, YouTube is now taken over, which is good, it's more stable. But yeah, TikTok was our primary channel, so we were trying to find things that could stream to that, and they don't give out stream keys for TikTok, very, very rarely. So you'd end up having to use all sorts of cock-handed things around it to try and make it work. But as I said, if it's busy out here, then that eliminates that problem for us there. I love that I can zoom in here there. Thank you, Susie. I mean, honestly, I prefer YouTube it's a more stable platform normally there, but I just don't want to leave our friends behind there, because we have some very good friends over on TikTok, and they're happier in that environment. So we always want to make sure to do it there. But on the other hand, I just want to kind of, protest to them with my feet, because all of the changes that they've made, like one of the main issues that we had was that they had their version of members on TikTok, and it was like a fixed £3 a month, so people, if they liked you, they could support you, and they took like 90% of it, but it's just an easy thing, and we could do private videos. And then they forcibly put the price up to, was it 10 or 15 quid? It was like a substantial price rise. We didn't get any control over it, and it was auto-enrolling people into it. What a rip-off. And yeah, before that they had a nice little community over there, but it seems to just be going downhill massively. But anyway, I rant. There's enough inside baseball for me tonight there. Dundee there, and the eclipse is going to be perfect for the UK, even though it's only a partial there. We'll have it high up for a few hours before sunset there. Pippets, but now that is pretty cool. I tell you what, Alan, now. Just it sounds like a bit of a laugh. I can't guarantee it. Was it August, you say? I'll have a word. My not in-law, stepfather, technically. He's got a camper van. He's always looking for a good trip. He did the North Coast 500 recently, so I'll see if he likes an adventure. Maybe we'll come up on the road for a few nights there. It'll be spooky. And get the A7S. It's only the 12 megapixels. Is really good for. Oh, so this is an A7S. This is the Mark 1, I think, though. Yes, it's the A7S and Mark 1. I always get it confused, but yeah, it is the S for the low light sensitivity one. But it's had its day. This camera, I got it as cheap as possible, and it's been well loved. And I dream of the Mark III that has the Wi-Fi connection, so I could change these settings from here without having to go downstairs. That's the dream, but it's a long way off. That's an orangey one, isn't it? Let's have a look. Come on. There we go. Nice redness to that one. So, Do let us know, guys, if you spot anything strange out of the corner of your eye. It's a lovely clear night. It's been a while. We're not getting the colours, though. We used to get some... I'm not quite sure what's going on there, because we normally get a lot of purples from some of these stars as well. So you can maybe spin the camera around, see what we can... how far we can get. What does the other part of the sky look like there? So wave goodbye to Arcturus. I mean, when Vega comes around for us from this position, we can kind of get it, but when we get it... Oh, look, it's getting lighter now. We're going over the town, I think. Is that cloud? No, we're just getting to the town there. Look at the difference in that. Let's keep back to where we was. That was nice and dark. But yeah, when Vega comes around, that is massive, and it is bright, and it is purple. It's absolutely stunning. Literally, everybody comes in and goes, what's the purple thing? What's the purple thing? Because it is so big, bright, and beautiful there. So Arcturus, I suppose, is going to be our marker for the best patch of sky tonight then. And it's an active patch, so not too bad. But it's always good to check, to never know what you're going to... Well, you're going to a spot there. Oh, it's just the A7S3 there. I have that. I don't really use it there. I mean, is there much of a difference between them, like quality of image wise for you? Because that's the other thing. It's a big price jump, and I'm like, is it going to be worth? Is it really going to help us massively? There's a few convenience features, like Wi-Fi connection. I might even be able to get the video link out of that, which would improve the quality probably. But it'd be interesting to know what that Wi-Fi range is. I'm about 10 meters away, line of sight from the camera, so hopefully it'll still work at that. But yeah, is the quality like for a night shot like this? Would we notice an improvement, do you think? Because I mean, I don't know much. I literally just know what we're fiddling around with around here, there. And I don't know the North Coast 500. The NC 500 a few years back at Hyde Motorhome there, and it was excellent adventure there. Would love to do it again. I heard it was very good today. Yeah, I think it's NC North Coast, whatever. They did that and had a very, very good time doing it, seeing all the awesome sights. The amount of Scotland that I have explored is tiny. It is a shame. I used to love travelling around the UK, but I had to give up driving. Oh my God, getting nearly 10 years ago now, which is a shame for medical reasons. And I did a lot of the south, I did a lot of the east coast, and I was working my way up, but I am now not allowed to, so it's a bit of a pain. But I would love to get back out there into the country. If I was driving now, guys, we would be on location from a different place every bloody night, work or no work. I'd be driving 2 hours to get a decent bit of sky. In fact, God, that'd be a great way around the weather, wouldn't it? Go, right, who has got a clear night sky? Right, let's go there. And Alan there, so I'm sure the Sony mirrorless work with the ASI Air there, and I have a few telescopes that'll be running the Eclipse there, the 5 Mark and the Hydrogen Alpha Scale, all very interesting. I mean, I've had a look at a few, but I don't know really much about them. My an ex-girlfriend's dad was really into his telescopes, and at the time I thought it was amazing because these massive. I'd never seen home telescopes this big, but you never pay attention at the time, do you? This is a long time ago. But I thought that they were sizable bits of kit there, and the amount of money you used to spend on the lenses back then. So like any of these hobbies, you can really get there. How are you doing, Royal Britannia? And the UFO documents are released by the Pentagon there just 30 minutes ago. So, living like, it's 30. We had another lot. So I know we had some yesterday, and we're going to be doing that tomorrow, guys. So we're going to be doing a deep dive on here for members and for the Patreons as well at 10 p.m. tomorrow night. There, we're going to be reading through the first release of all those documents and all the videos and all those sort of things too, with you guys, seeing what we all think. But yeah, I think it's probably going to be the first of a lot that's coming out there. Just the fact, regardless of what's in it there, regardless of what the intent is, just the fact that we are getting, this sort of stuff being spoken about in this sort of more credible way there, that it is being entertained, I think is just so important there. Oh, you're done there, Raf. No, but thank you for hanging out with us there. Hopefully you can recover a bit over the weekend, unless you've got any more city shifts there. Now, if you're only using it for this there, you're wasting the money. The Astro Cam, get a cheap one from Altair. Well, okay, so let us know. So Astro Cam, I've not even heard of this one there. I need to write that one down. Hold on. Yeah, because we don't really do images. It's literally just this live feed. So let's get that in my list there. Because yeah, we just want the live video. Same with England there. I was the Navy. Oh, wow, there. And I know a bit of Devon and Cornwall, which is possibly the best part there, Alan. There, but never been to Glastonbury area or the Welsh. Again, Wales is such a brilliant one as well there. There is so much that we have on our doorsteps. And, you know, you just don't get the time. We get so caught up in life, don't we? It's very easy to. And it's got, especially the price of hotels and things now. I used to have a couple of the old VW camper vans back when they were cheap or like reasonably priced. Nowadays, you go, it's insane. So I used to do a lot of travelling in those. But yeah, I was younger. I could just survive in the back of a van. Didn't bother me. That's a nice bright one coming down the middle. Should we zoom in on that? But there's so much of it I'd love to
Zoom mode activated.
explore. I definitely need the old Starlink for the internet connection. Again, straight and steady. Nothing anomalous yet. Keep your eyes on it though as we zoom out. Now, a quick question: what do you think of the new layout that we've got on tonight? So at the minute, the camera is fully over the whole screen. So even actually over these overlays, there's technically a bit of the screen behind that. So would it be better if we then shrunk it down so it was just in that grid box there? So literally you saw 99% of it fully, and there's nothing going off the edge, or the fact that it's there stretched out a bit more zoomed in, you can see it a bit easier. What do you reckon that would work with, or work best for there? How would you guys have that there? Keep it as it is, or put it all into the grid section? Oh my god, that would be bloody amazing there, Liberty. That would be bloody amazing. I don't know if we're quite big enough yet for to warrant it, but hey, if they can, we'll definitely be up for that. There. Oh, I tramped Dartmoor a lot there and hated it every time. Well, definitely if you tramp. I used to call it yomping back in my day. Decent weather days there. Even, I mean, the weather is quite special there. I've wild camped a few times at Dartmoor. It is phenomenal, but yeah, I wouldn't want to be lugging a pack across that out in the old elements there. I can't drive here because of the vertigo. Paul, yes, that's basically it. I lost all of my balance and width perception and stuff. I can get along day to day, but I'll bounce off of things. But yeah, behind the wheel, no chance. It's not safe anymore. So yeah, I never had vertigo before. I can't even, if I don't have a horizon, I'm gone. There. It's very frustrating, especially, yeah. And how are you doing? Is that Minnow? How are you doing there? And it's just the fact there, I think I have controlling the scope is a zoo, and the camera would need to use long USB cable. Yeah, so you can get long powered ones like that. I was worried about the length that we're running here, but you can get ones with repeaters in and stuff like that to do the distances there. Oh, it's perfect as it is there. Oh, thank you, Wayne. Well, okay, that's good for me. I said, no grid. Well, see, the grid is useful, so we can identify the movement when it gets a lot busier for that one there. But sometimes it does get in the way for people. Let's have a look. As it is there, up, I like it there, and Paul as well. Okay, we'll keep it 100% as it is then. Easy done. It's always nerve-wracking when you're putting something new up there. Will everybody like it or hate it there? And Arondrum there. Did you know that the Trump has released the alien, released the life out and about? So I know that he's. I mean, unless there's been an update since we're on stream, I know that they released some files, which we're going to be looking at, aren't we, tomorrow night at 10 p.m. They're the first round of files, but it does feel like there's going to be something else, going to be something more coming up there. Sponsored by Altair there, and I still go up to the shop. Should be well, 100% Liberty. We'll definitely love to work with them if we can get any eyes, anything that increases our odds of observations or detections of anomalies. There, be very, very much appreciated. And what did the alien say? Help me, these humans are crazy. Which way for the probing? Oh, look, there's a nice free together up there. Look, crossing. Yeah. Come on. Again, straight and steady and nice and bright. But not doing anything anomalous there. Got another faster one down there. We're looking, guys. Oh, that was getting bright now. It's flaring up a bit. We're looking for that anomalous movement there. Either stopping dead, shooting off its speed, changing course trajectory, anything like that will tell us that it is definitely not one of the many, many man-made satellites up there. And there's a lot of them up there, and it's only getting more. So if we think it's been busy tonight, you wait until the depths of summer, and lots of them on the screen are there. Can I tell you something there? When you make the live streams there, you make them every day. Pretty much, Ron Jim. Yeah, pretty much. I did once tell myself that I would do it occasionally. Problem is, you look and go, oh, it's a clear night again tonight, and then before you know it, you've done a week in a row, and then you're like, oh, well, I won't have a night off, because what's the point? We'll do the SETI one. So, honestly, I was only spending my evenings watching TV, so at least we're all hanging out together and learning and stuff like that, but no social life. Release the dot files. Well, I think release all the files, I think. And all the files are what we've all seen before, and all very poor quality there. It wasn't worth waiting for, and I'd guess that the other stuff to be released will be. I imagine there will be a lot of that. But, I mean, do you think of the first round of Epstein stuff, right? That was again, pretty restricted and redacted, and they got pushed back, and then they released even more. Now, again, still heavily redacted, still nowhere near all of the files. But there was stuff in that. There was some horrendous stuff in that. And if we can get the same level of detail for the UFO world, again, I think somebody made a good point about this as well. Like, obviously, they're going to have their bias, their interests, or what they don't or do want to do, and all that sort of stuff. But also, they've got to kind of let the general public catch up. Most of these people aren't fully down the rabbit hole with us there. And if they just went, boom, here's everything, if they was going to, it'd be very jarring for the general public. So I think they have to kind of warm us up, let us kind of get used to the idea. I mean, just the fact that the government is talking about UFOs, is entertaining the idea, that takes a while to settle. I think we're kind of there now. Then it's okay, the government has seen things it thinks is anomalous, and then it's going to be the next step, probably all tied into announcing, life on Mars, life on the exoplanets. Then so people are kind of warmed to the idea, okay, there is life out there, definitely. Building us up, the foreplay, if you will, of disclosure. But yeah, I imagine it's not going to be very slam dunk just yet there. And Ron Jim there. Oh, you're so cool there. Your channel should have 50,000. Thank you. That's very, very kind, Ron Jim there. Because I found this interesting. And there's aliens in the universe there. But the government won't tell us. And I totally agree. They won't, not unless they have to. And hopefully this is the line that we're crossing. That they just have to. Because people are seeing things. People are sharing those experiences. They can't get away with just, damming up the media outlets, and therefore that information wouldn't spread like they could in the past. We're so connected now. It doesn't work. Information doesn't flow in the same way, so they're having to update their story. They're having to play catch up with what people most of the time already know, and eventually it's just going to tip it over the line, hopefully, that we get there. But I appreciate that one, Ron Jim, as well. And looks good, Carl, thank you. And they are showing the UFO files. Are they really? At least it's getting coverage, because I hadn't seen any coverage. But this is, I think, exactly what it has to do. It gets out, and even if it's nothing, in fact, they don't want anything too jarring straight away, because they need the local media. People need to see UFOs being talked about in official capacity. They'd have their laughs, and then let it become normality, and then they can start to show some anomalous stuff, and then they can start to show the other stuff. They have to build on it, I think. And I'd definitely like to try the 585 sensor with the alternative era setup there. Oh, and I want to try it and stream when I am viewing on a budget there. I used to use the ALP on C-Star, but update has blocked out. Oh, I hate when they do that. They buggered us with that on TikTok last summer. Very big pain. Not the specific one, but updates and things. Yeah, look, the more people, I think, looking at the sky, the more people showing the sky, I think the better there. So if I can help out, let me know there. But I think Liberty's probably got the 101 on how to do it best, especially the specifics of the night sky. And up there, some of the Epstein and the Trump stuff out there today there may explain why they released the UFOs. It may do. And look, that stuff is horrendous there. That stuff is absolutely horrendous, But I'd argue that, the UFO stuff is more important. So if they're going to use it as a distraction, I'm for that. I think it's more important. Not that we should ignore all of the horrible things that have been going on, but hopefully they need more of a real distraction. So they have to tell us more of the actual phenomena there. Oh, and I'm joking there, but when I was on the YouTube there, I saw this video, and you actually showed a real alien of an alien there, talking to a person there, and I think somebody, if the video was it? So this is 100% real. There are some interesting videos around there, and actually, when we look back to some of the leaked videos, and there's definitely have been some very interesting ones in the past that people go, oh, they're fake, but they haven't been proven to be there. And I think we're probably going to find out actually that a few of them were very, very real. When it does all come out, and they'll go, actually, no, that was this real file, it will be confirmed. I mean, same with the JFK stuff, and what else was there? There's another thing. Stuff that kind of people all knew, and the rumours were there, and now it's kind of more official. Alien Interview Part 1. So there was one, was it the one that he has a coffin fit? Because that one, Living Like that, was the one that always sticks with me as being quite good. I'm not sure where I stand on Skinny Bob. Like, there's something about him, that alien video, that really draws me to it. But also, it just looks too good. It looks too produced. But it is a pretty, I don't know, how do you feel on those ones? And the alien interview where he's coughing and struggling is pretty convincing. Yes, Doug. And apparently they've spoken to, like, puppeteers and, you know, the people who make the old Hollywood special effects puppets and stuff, and they're like, that ain't a puppet. It's definitely not CGI. And also there was, I think it was the doctors in the room that help out have been identified as well, and that they kind of match up as exactly, you know, they are doctors that work for the military. And, you know, I think the wives have said there was some strange stuff. Fucking, there's a stain on my legs there. So that one's a pretty interesting one. Yeah, but if some people make it AI there, I don't know. That's just sad to make the fake. It is, and that is part of our world now, isn't it? That we have to get used to it. I think it's a big thing that we need to consider. You know, where AI is potentially being used. You know, it is more noise rather than signal, but it is part of our world. In the same way that when they figured out Photoshop, you know, you couldn't just trust a picture anymore. Back in the day when they were printing, you know, it was the church were the only people that had printing presses, and then they became more affordable there. So, you know, you couldn't trust it was the word there. It's something that we've had to tackle before, not specifically AI, but in principle we've had to tackle it before. So we'll get there, but yeah, it is a bit sad there. And the coughing alien, actually some people have a real sort of emotional connection to that one, and I think understandably so. The rumours that I've heard around it though were that it wasn't human caused, if that makes sense. I've just realised I've had my window open. Oh, my neighbours have just been hearing the whole stream for free. Damn them. No wonder I'm getting a nasty knock on the door, I think. Yeah, it wasn't human, I think, caused. They were intervening to try and help it, but it was like, I think, as a natural illness is the rumour that creature had for it there. What's wrong with it? So, Zen, you want foods? I want foods now. I want sweets. I was trying to be good. I didn't get any. And now I'm regretting that decision. God, it's already getting warm in here, guys. I think the jumper was a bit ambitious. Skies are quietening down a touch. We're still getting enough activity, though. It went so quiet over winter, which is, you know, kind of expected. But I mean so quiet that we'd be lucky if we saw one object a night, which is just insane. Oh, are those... what was it? Those cameras, are the Altair ones, are they C-mount lenses on those? Have to figure out a good lens for that. Let's have a look. Oh, that's very, very bright. Oh, Haribo. Zen, you're rubbing it in. Rubbing it in. It's coughing and straight. Yeah, it really wasn't having it. And the little meter that's off to the side of it. Yeah. Haribo, yeah, I have no sweets in the house. It's my own fault there. Yeah, ate all your damn fruit pastels. Oh, now fruit pastels. Sometimes it's good to go back to the classics. Fruit pastels, Skittles, a Mars bar. Like a 90s party there. because I believe in aliens, because we can't be the only life in the universe there. People say aliens are not real, but I believe because what are they flying objects in the sky there? People just say they're moving stars. And I think, Ron, that you're very, very right at that. And I think we all pretty much share that here, that actually, so science works, the way science works is from what is known to the next level, what's known. It's very small incremental improvements there. And that's a great way for science to work. It's very good for us. But what scientists and everybody else forgets is that just because you have what's known doesn't, you don't know what you don't know. There's a whole other bit around there. And science can take a very long time to get on to the right page there. And I think, from our point of view, which is, well, why wouldn't life be everywhere? If we look to the Earth, look how abundant life is here on the Earth. How much diversity there is, a species for every niche, every environment here on Earth. Why would, if that's what nature does, why would it not do that throughout the rest of the universe too? As a default position, Earth would have to be special. And, why? I mean, there's some reasons that it might be, but that's quite a big ask, isn't it? Quite a big lottery to win there for Earth to be so special, but we are the only forms of life. There is no officials of Antarctica there, and it's a no-fly zone there, no military and no civilians. Well, you're right there, do keep people away from it. And Antarctica is a very interesting continent, even if we take away the possibility, and I do think there very much could be some very interesting things under that ice, even if it is just from the past. But there, that is, as back in the day, the continents weren't where they all were. Like, that was a tropical environment that spent half of the year in the dark. We've never seen what a biosphere looks like that spends half of its year in the dark. That's a very, very interesting. What creatures would adapt to that? What plant life? How would plant life and creatures and animals adapt fully to that sort of environment there? What else could be going on? I do think there's a lot more to it there. Or curly whirly. The missus got them in the cupboard, but I can't have curly whirlies anymore. They're just too chewy. Like, I've got such a minimal chew threshold now, since I had a really bad tooth extraction. They kind of buggered my jaw up. Oh yeah, I can't chew a lot there. We are the humanity in the galaxy there. We are just the Mark 27 clones. Well, I like to think that we probably have cousins. If you think about all of the life that is reported to interact with us, people's accounts, not all of it's going to be real. People will be made up or mistaken a lot of the time, but not all of it. And most of what is experienced is humanoids. They're bipedal, heads on shoulders, 2 legs, hands, feet, all of them very, very similar to us. And what is the statistical chance there of evolution converging on multiple planets to be the same as us there? Again, there is a small chance, in the same way the Earth's special. Maybe this is the optimum way for intelligent species to develop. Maybe it's the only way. But I wouldn't think that's obvious. I still think it's quite a low chance that we can see so much of a similarity in it. And we do know that panspermia is probably going to be very, very possible. The idea that planets and even potentially solar systems can share, at the very least, simple life on rocks and stuff, meteorites that they share between each other, and potentially pollinating a whole area there. Maybe that when our sun was in its stellar nursery, that gas cloud that it formed with all of its siblings, and they think they've found about over 6,000 of them now, that maybe life started around on the planets really, really early on then, when they all were much closer, and maybe that panspermic effect across those other solar systems even, and now they're all spread out amongst the galaxy. Maybe we're being visited by our cousins that have started from a similar point, but off in their own ways. They have evolved slightly differently and look very similar, but not quite there. But yeah, that's a good point there as well, Alan. There may be other civilizations that have been here on Earth, intelligent otherwise. Maybe they left, maybe they died out. Like, we wouldn't know. The Earth's atmosphere, its environment, its weather, plate tectonics, it will wipe absolutely everything there. I think the only thing that has a chance of surviving any reasonable period is like sort of radiation there. So certain byproducts of nuclear activity could survive a longer period of time. But other than that, there's no way for us to fully tell there. They did. I was thinking though, Alan, like the size. Is it just because I've got older? But I think they are screwing us for the chocolate there. Alan, use orbs to stream a screen. Alan, can you bring some orbs in? Oh, he's not working today. He says he's put his feet up. I noticed the recent disclosure has shown no aliens. Paul, I know, and well, this is the... I don't know if everyone's had a chance to go through it all yet, but I wouldn't expect it would be. I think they need to ease us in, and by us, I mean like the general public. So I think, you know, we're going to be on round 3 or 4 before we start to go, oh, hang on, this is really interesting for us. But nevertheless, we are going to be doing it all tomorrow in our members a deep dive there. And I do think aliens want to make peace with us, but they can't show themselves because the government is a secret from us. And it is just the government trying to protect us, and they're not trying to be scared of us. I mean, the motivations, yeah, of why we're not told. There are quite a few, and you know what? I don't know what the correct answer is. Maybe it's a bit of all of them, or maybe it is one more than the others there. But I've heard some very interesting ones. I think the one that is my favourite, not necessarily because I believe it more, but I quite like a bit of poetry, really. There is a secret too terrible to be told there. The idea that maybe they do know the truth. Maybe it's quite simple and it's just bad news, guys. We don't actually want to know sort of stuff there. Maybe we're their experiment and they're planning to turn the experiment off in a few years. Maybe, you know, the truth is that, yeah, they are little green men from other planets coming and visiting us occasionally. But they do take us when they want, for whatever reason that may be, and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, there might be one of them, or it might just be that they want, you know, the technology for themselves. Maybe they're preserving it because of the energy, the free energy, as we've heard before, you know. They don't want to release that. They want to keep their, you know, oil monopoly. Maybe it's, you know, fear of, you know, trying to protect us from ourselves, although I think that's a weak excuse there. There are so many versions of what could be going on. They're all very interesting there. Doug, the way I see it is the humanoid form led to intelligence there and tool making, etc. And here, so why not elsewhere? Well, maybe, I mean, they do think, don't they? Well, they do know that the crab has evolved, you know, from many separate species. I think at least twice, but totally separate species have evolved into crabs. It's called convergent evolution there. So that is the most optimum way to survive, you know, on the ocean floor there. The crab is the best way. Your evolution will come to the same conclusion every time. And they say that the most efficient way to move goods across land, you're just going to invent a train every time. It's the most efficient way. So the idea that there is an optimum way, and that is possible. You know, maybe that is the case, you know, that we look like this. And, you know, again, it's a selection bias because there are plenty of other life that looks nothing like us, but maybe it doesn't support intelligence and therefore it can never visit us. That's why we're not seeing it. It's a very good angle there, Doug, as well. It's an interesting one, but it is not doing anything strange. So keep your eyes on it as it moves down the screen there, guys. And we need to see it do something strange, something a man-made satellite can't do, like stop dead, shoot off at speed, change course or trajectory there. That'll tell us it apart from one of those many man-made objects there. But if you haven't already, guys, make sure you're subscribed because we do this pretty much every night there. Clear nights, it's the UFO UAP Skywatch. Do my buttons work tonight? Hold on. No, it doesn't. There we go. Yeah, on cloudy nights we do an alien radio signal hunt there, which is researching what's called the hydrogen line. It's the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorize we are most likely to hear a message from an extraterrestrial civilization there. So we're always looking out for some evidence for the phenomena, and yeah, hopefully you'll get a notification of when we go live there. And I can't remember what it was I used there. I see folk streaming screen on the iPad. Oh, on YouTube. I've seen a few people do that. There are some infrared cameras, night vision cameras basically, and they're quite good ones, which would be good because we'd like to have the infrared ability here. But yeah, they only, those certain cameras, they don't have like a proper video out. They just stream it to an iPad or something, and I'm like, nope, I need to bring it in. I need to be able to manipulate it. So we didn't go down that route yet, but I do like the look of some of those though. Release the alien files. Well, they are starting to, Bill, aren't they? They are now. We haven't got, I don't think, the gold yet, but we will be reading through them tomorrow with the members at, I said 10 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to release the first batch, so likely there'll be multiple batches and increasingly interesting there. But they've got to soften the general public up there. They've got to warm up the general public to, to what the possibility might be. Not everybody is going to be as down the road as we are, and in fact this is the trick here, is that your model of the world, how the world works, you know, if I walk down the street, I'm not going to get attacked, right? That's a model of the world, right? And that is built up well. It's a quiet country area, You know, there's not much crime around here. That's how I view and interpret the world there. Now, if I do walk out on my street and then all of somebody goes, "What, stab," like that, as probably would have happened when I lived in Essex, and in fact did happen, you know, then my model of the reality versus my experience, that's quite a wide gap there. And that gap of not being able to understand how that happened, not seeing the warning signs and the indicators there, that is literally trauma. That's how the brain indicates the difference between what you expected to happen and what did happen versus its cost. And I think that's where they have to be quite careful with this. So for us, we're going to be quite far down the road here. We're ready to see the bodies and the craft, but if they just release that to the general public, that's called trauma, because a lot of these people go, but aliens are just in films. What's going on? They can visit us. It's just going to blow their minds. So they need to hear. They need all these little things that are going on in the background there. Just those little mentions now of NASA going, yeah, look, we do think there was life on Mars. That's going to become, there is life on Mars. And then people are going to go, you know what? The idea of life on other planets. Okay. Then it's going to be those distant exoplanets. Go, there's life on those as well. Okay. So the universe is alive, you know, and then the government's talking about UFOs in a non-silly way, and then we'll start to get the evidence there. If they just cram it in, go, yeah, Roswell was real, boom, yeah, I think that would be too jarring. That's when civil unrest can happen there. So we'll have to wait a bit, but we will get there. And if we have just one example of something like intelligent life, surely we should be expecting something similar as well. Doug, I think that makes perfect sense. I think it's ignorant to think otherwise unless we have good information there. But yes, science works in the opposite, and it's often caught out. So the fact that Mars had liquid water, had an environment like ours, is a very recent confirmation. It's been theorized for a while, but scientists would go, "You're ridiculous to think that. We've got no evidence of this." And now they have now got the evidence. They go, yes, no, Mars was Earth-like for about 2 billion years. Okay, brilliant. There, but the scientists were quite late to the party with this, you know. And you know, I understand they want the evidence. That's how science works. But for them to go, it's ridiculous to think otherwise. That's ridiculous. There, like they missed the clues, because the fact that Mars is fucking red is the clue. There was oxygen in the atmosphere that ionized the planet. It's why it's red. It's been screaming at it for all of history there. But the you know, the scientists were late to the party, and that's the problem with science. It's that delay, it's that lag. You know, it does come around normally, but it takes a long time. And I think it's just the same, you know, with life in general there. In fact, the main reason that a lot of scientists still go, we don't know, you know, there's no evidence of alien life. Like, actually, the astrobiologists do think life is going to be absolutely everywhere nowadays. It's just the other science areas haven't got the memo. They're still back in the 90s when we didn't know that if all of these stars here actually had planets around them, like our star, you know, like us here, like this one here, whatever it is, you know, they did not know that there were other planets in orbit around this star. And now we're getting the technology to see more and more and more. We now know there's planets there. So just on statistics, life is going to be absolutely everywhere. Absolutely. Is it intelligent? Is it visiting us? That's the next question. I think it probably will be. At Liberty there, I had a mini PC on my scope, and I used Chrome to remote... Oh, bloody... Sorry, skipped ahead of me there. Where did we get to? Sorry, guys, I'm a few messages behind in the chat. To send... to my main PC, and it worked well. That's a good possibility there. I'm trying to think of how I can... There'll be a way, I think. And I think my simulation stops me from doing it as we... will broadcast to the world the truth. Well, exactly. And I knew the full fat Coke and Bacardi was a bad idea. Going to be up all night there. OBS, yeah. We do use OBS for some parts of it. And disclosure would end all organized religion there. So it's an interesting angle then. The Middle East would erupt. So I definitely think it would cause some friction, and as we know, the Vatican actually gave advice to a lot of its vicars, not vicars, priests, whatever they are, last year, I think it was. They actually updated the advice, which was, you know, yes, there can be life on other planets, that's all part of God's plan, whatever it is. So they were kind of bracing for impact with that. But like anything, the harder you hold something, the tighter the grip, the more issues you're going to have when it's not right. You know, I think anything that we hold too dogmatically, and that goes for us as well. If we are so convinced that actually the aliens are all good or all bad, and they're all from Zeta Reticuli, and everybody's silly if you're not considering X, Y, or Z, or whatever it might be. If we hold any belief too tightly, look, we're going to have a bad time, you know. You need to have that flexibility around it, because ultimately reality is always a lot weirder, and we're only human, and we're not very good at predicting things really to any reasonable degree of success. So yeah, I think the takeaway is, you know, just, you know, you can have your influences, but if you're holding it that tight, whether it's dogmatic religion or being dogmatic with science as well, like think of the scientists that are going to have a meltdown if tomorrow they went boom, aliens, you know, like they'd go, because it would question their understanding of it. They'd go, but where was the evidence before? Why did we miss it? You know, science, you know, they would question everything there. I think there'd always be friction on disclosure, but I don't think it would be fundamental there. And at least the footage on here isn't blurry. For now, Bill, for now. I forget to put a penny in the meter. We do get some nights, but we're always working to improve it and living like that. The UFO travel, every object has its own frequency there, and this frequency varies depending on its location. I can barely get my head around frequencies and stuff like that. I mean, you know, you're talking about basically radio, but everything is a frequency on the electromagnetic spectrum there. You know, when you go, oh, I need to be bigger brain for this. I wish I'd paid attention in school, but I do find it endlessly fascinating there. I did a documentary on my YouTube channel on the Nephilim there and Anunnaki there. It really is, Paul, isn't it? And I thought, when I first heard that was all, you know, Zachariah Sitchin's interpretation of the Sumerian texts and things. And then I kind of, okay, maybe his interpretation was a bit questionable. But then you actually look, and it's in the bloody Bible as well. You know, that this is a common, you know, like all of these stories, they weren't just in one religious text. There was a very similar version somewhere else. It's like they were all doing their own version of one of these traditional stories there. And you go, you know, there ain't no smoke without fire. I think there's a lot to it and stuff like that. Oh, Swifter there, Job, chapter 38:3, is it 31 there? Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades, or loose the cords of Orion? Or what was that? What's that one meant to mean then in like main acceptance there? I mean, it's interesting they're referencing all of these things. I mean, some of the religious stuff there. Again, I grew up a very cynical of religion. I wasn't full on, I wasn't antagonistic atheistic there, but I mean, I sang hymns in school and that was enough for me with it. But the older I get, the more I just listen, the more interesting some of it is. Now, I would never take it literally, but if you take it, this is somebody's interpretation of things. What is it trying to say? There's been some interesting lessons in there, which I would agree with. And Ron, as well, what I think the government stole the alien technology, and then they turned into the iPhone. It could be possible. How could the owner of the iPhone there create such a great tech? So, well, you're touching again on something very, very interesting there, that they do say that there is certain technology that has been taken from, crashed craft there. They've reverse engineered that, and they point to a number of different things. Like the microchip one is one of them there. The semiconductor, I think it was first, and then the modern day microchips. Velcro was another one. Is it nanite? So it's like a memory metal, basically. So a metal that you can scrunch up and then it pops back, which is what they reported to have at Roswell. There are loads of them. Apparently, and if you trace them all through their development tree, they suspiciously, a lot of them come to the various government-backed and associated labs in the US, where they would, they are the people that you would go, I found this interesting thing, this is your department, lads, have a go, and it comes from those places. Now, there are other people, like with the microchips, for example, they'll say that, there was a linear development path. There were earlier versions, and other companies were all sort of roughly in that space. So actually, the person who kind of pushed it over the line, it's not out of nowhere. But other people say, well, actually, no, look, these bits of technologies are out of nowhere. And in fact, the memory metal one specifically, which I think was that Bechtel Labs, or was that who was I think it's one of these American, government-backed labs, basically. One of the scientists that is on the paper for this human-made version of the memory metal, there as the inventor on it, one of the many inventors, he came out on his deathbed and said, yeah, we based that memory metal on some crash recovery stuff from Roswell, and it's exactly what people were talking about since day one with Roswell, which was this weird metal that you could crush it and it would pop back into shape. It had memory to it. So there's a good strong chance that they would literally, seed that into the wider world there through those mainstream institutions there, and switch from A to B or vice versa there. The object simply needs to manipulate its a frequency. Like, it's a lot of stuff. I get the rough direction, but I just don't know the details. I'm absolutely endlessly fascinated by all of that stuff, but I'm also no good at it. But I think there's going to be a lot more connection in that way than we really already assume there. And the gold to their atmosphere is unconvincing. The entire universe is full of precious metals. So this is the thing, isn't it? There are some parts about that story that I do find quite interesting. And actually, you talk about the gold in the atmosphere for the Anunnaki. That's the idea that they had us enslaved to mine gold. Like, I'd actually agree with that, because I think precious metals are not a good reason to come to Earth, because precious metals are absolutely abundant everywhere, and if you're coming from another planet or even another star system all the way to Earth to get it, there were plenty of other places on the way that were closer but also easier, because you didn't have the atmosphere to get out of the gravitational well, so it's less effort to just mine it off of an asteroid. But the rest of it, I think in the same way that I have a question around that, I actually go, wait a minute, that's a really interesting point. Just like how it talks about Nibiru coming in on this eccentric orbit, which is something that we're considering possibly for planet 9 now. The way it touches in on the Nephilim and the religious, the god structure, which ties into other one. There's just so many interesting touch points. But I think if we start thinking of binary yes and no, right or wrong, because I think this is just true across the world everywhere, it's degrees of truth. How close a fit is this? And a lot of the time in life, close enough is what we go for. We very, very rarely have the time, and it's not normally worth pushing it those extra few points. Close enough is good enough. And, is this story right in certain ways? Is it wrong in certain ways there? But does it do the job? Does it inform us enough? And I take this as an example of functionality here. As an interesting way to look at it. So take the pyramids, for example, and of Egypt there. Mainstream explanation, they built them, not with slaves now, they've changed that, but they built the pyramids, the ancient Egyptians there, tombs for the gods, right? That is a functional understanding for us. We can tell our kids in school, look at those big pointy things there, made by people in robes there, and they're pharaohs here, but a much lesser civilization, but that they still managed to do that. And the kids go, oh, that's interesting. And then they get on with their day. And they can understand cultural references to Egypt when they grow up there. It's a functional basic understanding. Now, that understanding becomes unfunctional because it doesn't matter if there's a difference, does it? If there is a variation and it doesn't get into the way of our day, we'd like to know, but it doesn't prevent us from functioning. But I tell you how it does become dysfunctional, is that if that was a previous civilization that was then wiped out by, I don't know, asteroid, comet, whatever it might be, other aliens coming down, whatever, then all of a sudden we've missed the key message there, which is we are vulnerable as humanity, because look at this previous civilization that built this. They were wiped out. The evidence has been in front of us. If we don't learn that lesson and then that thing comes round again, then we've missed the point. It's not functional anymore. But we need to think about how much are we actually getting out of these things. They don't have to be 100% there. Stuff at almost 0 Kelvin there is not gas nor liquid. This is true there. Oh, Bill, I don't know why that one's come out there. Alien Files. The Allen Files. Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah, the Allen Files. He says he's not going to release them. He's refusing to. Let's have a zoom in on this one. Again, it's not a massive one. Slow and steady. But as I zoom back out, guys, keep your eyes on it. Gotta see if it does anything strange. What's the thing? Anyone have fish tanks with shrimp? No. I barely have enough time for this one, sadly, there. Where are we? Jumping ahead. Oh, God, guys, sorry. It's, I didn't realize how behind we were. There. Rust exactly on Mars. Yeah, Mars was 3 times larger. 3 times larger? I've not heard that, but I know that it was, for about 2 billion years, as habitable as Earth, but it was also habitable 2 billion years before Earth was habitable. Mars is very, very interesting there. The chances of anything coming from Mars was 1,000,000 to 1, they said. I could do a cracking Richard Burton impression. I won't do it on the stream. And although Obama kind of walked back what he said there about the aliens being real, although I think he actually meant that we are not the only life. So I actually do. I think it wasn't the slip of the tongue that we all thought there. I think he was just talking about in that wider, more general sense. But I also think he probably wasn't showing the rest of it there. And I loved the album as a kid there. The only time my dad didn't moan at me for the music. What the proper... What's the is it the Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds was brilliant there. And Elon creates nothing. He was just a lucky investor. Alan. So I don't think that's true, actually. I don't think Elon is God, but I do think that he has got something, and that something might be just that he's good at picking people to employ. It might be that he's just really, really manipulative and forces people to do all the things. Whatever that thing is, there is something different about him. That he is like an outlier by far with that. And now, I think he's an interesting character across the board. You know, like I wouldn't want to go to him for relationship advice or probably political advice or anything like that. You know, but then this is the thing, like, you know, people... We are diverse as creatures. Yeah, we all have a different sides. Ultimately, who's to say if somebody is worth more or less overall? All I'm thinking is that he's grateful that, you know, like at least somebody has, you know, regenerated the space race there. Is it worth the rest of the stuff? That I don't know. I can't answer. But being biased towards space, I appreciate that. But he's got something, you know, what it is, you know, it's definitely by far an outlier. And Adam there, so no TikTok. So we were on TikTok, but they banned us again. They banned us multiple times and then properly at the end. So I'm going to have to try and problem solve that one there. And speaking of Disclosure Day, the movie's coming very, very soon. You are right, it is there. And I think that might be part of the plan there. You know, letting people know through fiction what is... You know, what might be going on. It doesn't have to be 100%, but just give people an understanding of what psionics are, maybe what hybridization might look like. So then when, or if they hear and they find out and they do give us that level of disclosure at some point, we have some framework of understanding to rest that knowledge on. Like a blanket for it to lay in there. And he's a blowhard like Trump, and the US there seems to run like that work-wise, but I try that in the UK and Europe. Well, yeah, I mean, definitely legally you wouldn't get away with a lot of it there, but I think he's a flawed person, but I also think that he's got something quite in the other direction as well there. And Ron as well, what I believe, I think he and the government stole the alien technology. Oh no, I've done that one. And amazing Spielberg. Yeah, it's amazing. It's Spielberg who was in the Trump files. Was he really? I haven't heard of that one. I'm not surprised though. Velcro was covered by Star Trek. Was it there? Enterprise there. The Vulcan showed off some Velcro. So that's how it was developed. Yeah, but I mean, I can't remember what else it was, but there were some other ones as well. The other reported to be, you know, reverse engineered technology. Now, how true it is, I don't know. But, I mean, in principle, it's plausible to me. And the Nazi bases in Antarctica, and Admiral Byrd, again, another interesting angle there. You know, look, there's something going on there, whether it's as literally as what people say, but they did, you know, bring that mission back. There were, you know, casualties from something that had happened there. And we know that, you know, the post-Second World War sort of stuff related to the Nazis, that's always a lot stranger than the mainstream want you to believe there. Was it 10 ships lost as well? Jesus, yeah, I mean, something's gone wrong there. And Dan there, do you have any thoughts on the Book of Enoch there? So I'm very interested in this. I haven't gone through and read it myself, and it is on my to-do list, but that'll probably be a while away because I'm bad at going from my to-do list at the minute. But I think it's going to be very, very, very interesting there. I think I've heard some interesting counterpoints, but none that I think are fundamental. So I've heard people, and again, I don't know how true these are, but people have said that, look, it wasn't technically one book, it was a selection of books, and it wasn't removed from the Bible, it just wasn't put into a new collection or something. There was sort of standard technicalities, but it kind of sounded more to me that it wasn't, it took away some of the teeth of it being a bit manipulated and hidden and stuff like that. And okay, that's fair enough. But the actual content of them, I am very, very interested in still because of the overlaps with all of those other stories there as well. Now, you know, what was the spark of inspiration? Was it an initial cause of events? Was it a shared experience that everybody was trying to explain? So I'm very interested in that, but I can't really talk on the specifics of it because I just haven't got around to doing there. And Torvi there, how are you doing? Just tuned in there. Can you explain what it is that we're seeing, please? Does this footage include planes and satellites, etc.? Is it live coverage of our sky? Brilliant one. Sorry for the delay there, Torvi, to get you. It's a good question. So if you are joining us, we are doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch, and this is live. This is the sky above my house here in Wiltshire in the UK, which is right in the heart of Crop Circle country, just down the road from Stonehenge. There, and yeah, this is the sky live. So at the minute we're seeing the sky. We're seeing all of those distant, beautiful stars right up in the top there, in between the letters C and D, but it's in D1. That big bright one, I think it's Arcturus, the star there, quite far from us there. But yeah, we're going to be seeing. I mean, it's possible for us to see planes, but there's not much air traffic. When you see a plane, you see the flashing strobes, you can see the outline of the wings, so they're a bit of a giveaway. But most of what we're going to be seeing tonight is going to be man-made satellites like this one.
Zoom mode activated.
So it's quite faint there at the minute, but you can see it tracking along. If I zoom back out there, that's quite a faint one. Oh, it's really going out now. You'll know, I think I've pretty much lost that one. But yeah, there's going to be lots of these dots moving around. They look like stars, various brightnesses, various speeds, various sides. There's another one over here. And there are plenty of man-made satellites up there. In fact, about 15,000 of the buggers, and there's only going to be more. But we need to pay attention. We need to watch all of these with our eyes, follow them across the screen, because what we need to see is something like that do something strange, something a satellite just can't do there, like stop dead, shoot off at speed, change its course, its trajectory, interstellar handbrake turn, anything like that. And that tells us that it is not one of the many man-made satellites, but it is in fact something a little bit stranger, because satellites are falling to Earth in a big circle. They're following a straight line for what we see down here at a consistent speed there. So as soon as we see those variations, and then that is the slam dunk for us there. But flashing, coloration can be of interest as well. So that's what we're doing. We're watching out for the movement on the screen there and hopefully trying to filter out the prosaic and explainable there to the more anomalous. Where in the world are you joining us from there? Is that Torvi? And guys, if you are joining us tonight, remember to give us a follow or subscribe, whatever it is, wherever you are, because yeah, we do this pretty much every night. So if it's a clear night, we're doing this, the live UFO hunt. If it's a cloudy night, we do an alien radio signal hunt there, like the film Contact. We listen out on what's called the hydrogen line, which is the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorize that if ET is out there, that's where they would put the message, where the wow signal was heard. So we're always trying to get some of the phenomena, but also just say hello. Let us know where you're watching from tonight. I'm working my way through the chat. I want to hear all your messages and all your questions. There's no silly questions, to ask away. But yeah, let us know where you're all watching from tonight then. We'll get around to you there. Where did we get to there? And Ron, it's like skinwalkers. There are mythical creatures on the news, and it says that they are actually real. I do believe, but have you seen them there, skinwalkers, on the internet? They could be aliens. Well, I mean, this brings up a very interesting point here, is that, you know, human interpretation. You know, like, are we all describing the same thing but with different words? Because we all come from different points of understanding with different cultural reference points. We have to, as humans,
Zoom mode
use
activated.
the language and the structures that we understand to then explain something new. Oh, it's like this thing, it's kind of like that there. So different cultures, different people will always have a slight variation, a slight flavor twist on what they're experiencing. And I think you've seen this with the phenomena in general. You know, there are cave paintings that appear to be like the greys that we see now, and then you go throughout, you know, folklore and early history there. Again, lights in the sky, little people taking people away, very similar to now. Religious texts, we were just mentioning there, the Book of Enoch and stuff. Again, it all seems to be the same phenomena, but different cultural lenses explaining it in different ways there. So that is, I think, a big filter. And is that true with some of the Native American stuff there, like the skinwalkers and stuff? The old biblical word, possibly the Nephilim, etc. Yes, that sort of stuff there. And thank you there for Doug for answering that question there in a more reasonable time than it takes me to get around to it there. And Paul there, I am a born-again Christian there. However, the Bible is heavily edited there. Check out the Ethiopian Bible, which contains the book cut out there, and the Book of Enoch really explains the Nephilim. So yeah, that's it. We're touching on that, and I'd love to read it myself. It's very much on my list there. I mean, it's very, very interesting. How do you feel that it comports with modern day sort of Christianity, because I'm not really up on it there. And I know that we hear a lot, especially from the US, around, you know, angels and demons. And again, I mean, I wouldn't write it off, but I would say that what I would assume is that we're all describing the same thing. Now, who's going to be more right or more wrong? You know, maybe the angels and demons were a more accurate description, or maybe our modern day ET from another planet is more accurate. You know, whatever it is, you know, we're all probably trying to describe the same phenomena. And out there on the last Skinwalker Ranch there, the ceramic material they found in the mesa healed itself under the pier. Under that pier to self-repair or change structure under an electronic microscope there. We do have some materials that do that. It's very interesting that it was in the mesa. Is there much sort of context for it as well? Because I think I did see the episodes where they were getting they were drilling into it and getting some anomalous materials there. It's very, very interesting. There seems to be something going on there. If you take it even away from the current TV show, you know, there's this long history of weird things. God, sorry, it's jumped ahead on me. There. And not the proof that the Sphinx is older there. So, well, the pyramids are contested, although there's a few things in there that does point to them being, you know, within a few hundred years of the mainstream age. But the Sphinx is one that they do think is much older because of the erosion patterns, don't they? The wear and tear from water, they believe, on the actual enclosure itself, rather than the Sphinx thing. It's possibly been recarved over the years. I'm really mixed. I keep going all over the shop with archaeology, especially the ancient Egyptian stuff. Like, I see some interesting counter arguments, and I see somebody coming in here, coming in there. I mean, I don't really know fully where I stand. I do think there's probably, in fact, I tell you what, what I did like, and I haven't heard this one many times before, but so actually Dr. Robert Schoch, one of the guys who's quite notable for talking about the Sphinx and the water erosion there, is actually his wife she's a scientist as well in her own right, and she had a theory that basically you know, all these monuments are from much older civilizations, but they were packed up, they were protected, because like with the mud brick pyramids, all of the old ancient temples like Luxor and stuff that they've uncovered now, they were covered in these old mud bricks, and they just kind of thought the archaeologists thought it's just rubble. Just over the years, other people have built houses around them, stuff. But actually, there is a hell of a lot of these mud bricks. So the theory that she had is that basically all of these older sites were encased in these mud bricks to protect them from catastrophe, there, from weather, from whatever might happen. And if you think about, well, what is a pyramid? If anything, it's the most resilient structure that there is to defend against, you know, time or catastrophe. So I think there's probably a clue around that there. And Bill there, speaking of season 6 of Skinwalker Ranch, it's coming out there. I tapped out after an earlier season. It was getting a rinse and repeat there with the experiments and the drone, the lasers, and the constant mesa drilling. So that's I mean, I do feel for them trying to, you know, do a TV show on that. There's always the difficulty of production schedule, trying to get events to happen that fit in line for when you're filming. Is, you know, you're going to have a bad time with that. It doesn't necessarily mean that the program's, you know, bad or anything, but I definitely, especially the American stuff, like, I don't know, where it's Oak Island, I've seen a few of those, and it is just the same thing for 5 minutes, then a 5-minute ad break, then a 5-minute recap of what you just watched, basically the same sort of stuff again. And it, you know, like, it's a very, what do they call it? You know, it's the same as though the stuff that they give you now to hook you in on YouTube and lives. You know, it's that, you know, maybe it's the iPhone dangling over a shredder, and, like, you know, you can just see it, the threads getting worn away each time. You know, it's trying to keep you to hook, the suspense. So I'm always a bit, not skeptical, but I'm like, is this the proper delivery mechanism for the information that I crave, especially in the days of the internet where we can all get together like this. We can check out all sorts of awesome creators that are really doing some proper journalistic work, coming up with new information on the phenomena here on the tubes. It's like Skinwalker, they are theoretical creatures on the news there. They say that they are actually real, and do I believe them? Have you seen them on the internet? I mean, I've seen them, but I don't know. I mean, this thing, you know, I don't know if something's going to be AI. I don't know if it's somebody's, you know, going to be correct in their estimation of the things there. But it's interesting, though. And why does the apple play a role in the story of Adam and Eve then, especially when there are so many other fruits there? Oh, so living light, that's a good one. I did hear a reason for this one, it's totally gone from my mind, but I remember hearing, going, oh, that's interesting. Why was it so symbolic? What's the answer to living life? You've got a good angle on that. It's taking risks in the governments, don't there? But we have, I watched the latest Alien prequel series with, oh no, I haven't actually, and I really wanted to see it. I didn't get around to it. It was Alien Earth. Yeah, and I just then forgot it existed, but I'd love to see it. Is it good, do you think, there, Alan, there? And the night sky is destroyed with the stupid internet satellite system there. We can't even handle voice. I mean, well, that is if it's not good enough for those things. But I mean, this is the thing. Look, we're paying a price, aren't we? With the night sky. That is a real price there to have for the astronomers and things like that, to have those things blocked out. But on the flip side of it, those remote locations that haven't been able to have access to information and communication, that is so important to us as a species there. So it's really hard to quantify the balance, the trade-off, the price that we're paying versus the good. I mean, for me, it makes no difference either way if they're up there or not. I mean, we get to see objects on the screen, it's fine, doesn't block it for us, but I also don't use the service. But I think some places it's very, very useful for them. But is it fair for the cost that it's coming to the whole international astronomical sort of community there as well?
I can tell you about the apple.
Oh, you can tell me about the apple. You look like you were asleep and you're, somebody says something religious. I felt it and you woke up.
No, it was it's from a
Tree?
No.
Snake?
Translation in Latin. So the Latin word for apple is the same word for evil, in the same way that pitch can mean like a campsite pitch or a pitch in a meeting. It's a homonym.
Okay, but so then they took a bite of evil?
Yeah, it's in the Bible it just says fruit. It doesn't.
Oh, does
say
it not
anything. No,
specify?
it's the tree of good and the tree of evil.
Oh, so they just ate a fruit from the wrong tree.
Yeah, they ate it.
Oh.
Tree of evil.
Well, that's why you don't let women, make these decisions. Pick the evil tree. Thank you. That's an interesting one. For those flashlights, no cameras. And there was a new S4 Lazar documentary segment released on YouTube there, and he revealed the name of... I literally was watching that just earlier there. Was it Chris or Paul? What was it? There was a name that's very, very interesting. Literally just earlier there. And I think I know how to make UFO there. You need magnets there, because magnets float stuff there up. So that's it. I mean, some people have theorized that magnetism plays a part in it there. The Bible has been translated by 4 languages there. I mean, it's lasted reasonably, not intact over time, so there is something to it. But whether it's, accurate, I mean, I don't think it's going to be literal. I think at the best, any of these things, these are going to be people's way of trying to transmit some information over time. And the best way to do it, to last longest, is, I mean, actually, it's very similar to waves, to radio waves here. You can have a high frequency wave. It doesn't last long. It's very efficient, it's very precise, that you can put a lot of data kind of in that there, but it's not very resilient. It doesn't last long, it doesn't penetrate walls. But you have a low frequency wave, again, low data within it, but it's very resilient. It'll go through walls, it'll go through the sea and all that sort of stuff, So it's probably similar like that. The more high frequency, the detailed, more scientific you want to be to convey that knowledge over time, the less time it's going to last. Who's going to tell their children read out a full scientific paper by memory? Whereas if you tell them a story, you're not conveying all of the information there. You're only getting the gist over, but it's probably more resilient over time. But what not a cherry. And demons are very real there. JD Vance, Paulina Luna, and Tim Blanchett behind the disclosures believe the same. So, I mean, I'm open to it. I'm definitely open to it. But, is it that, what they described as literal angels and demons back then you know, we're mistaking the phenomena for actual angels and demons, or is it that whatever those things were, they labelled them angels and demons? So we come down now and we're labelling them ET or extra-dimensional creatures, and they're the same thing. I'm open to it, I think. Being either which way around. There was a recent interesting sort of study that was basically, if your civilization is going to be advanced enough to have something like warp drive, if that's, you know, you're not going to use that technology to destroy yourself. And, you know, this is the thing, you know, like imagine if lords and kings had nuclear weapons. They would have been lazzing them things around left, right, and crazy. There was a war every other week that lasted a generation, you know. It was a crazy time, you know. We had to kind of settle down a bit before we could get the technology to then have it. You know, it's a bit of we needed to earn it, a thing. You know, if we'd had it then, it would have been hell. Now, you know, look, it's still very tense, but at least we're not throwing them around like sweets. And the same would be true for future technology. If you've got warp drive technology, you can go across all of space there. That is the same as you've got a very big bomb. You know, it's very, very dangerous there. It's a lot of energy, and energy is good and bad depending how you use it. So maybe to handle that information there, you either need a society that is so rigorously in lockstep that you're all doing the same thing all of the whole time, not because you're forced to, but because you think the same way. You're very homogenized, and therefore there's going to be no dissents. Nobody in that civilization is going to do anything wrong with that technology because you're all going for the same goal just by nature. Or the complete opposite, where you're all so independent that you can pretty much do what you like with the dangerous technology, but it just doesn't have that knock-on impact to the rest of your civilization. And somebody could draw the parallel between those as angels and demons. And angels do seem more, you know, bureaucratic and detailed and all that sort of stuff there. So maybe it is along those lines. Maybe it's kind of, there's a bit of both within it there. And is there a connection between underground drilling and earthquakes? I imagine there'd probably be some sort of connection, wouldn't there? God, I'm so far behind in the chat. How am I this far behind? Okay, maybe I'm not that far behind, but I've just gone too high up. Next season, they are going to be removing a section of the mesa there. No more drilling. There is a dome structure under there, and they are attempting to get to it there. Going to be interesting. I mean, I wouldn't do it seasonally if I were them. I would have been like, if he's got the money, we're going for it. We're going for it now. Nobody leaves until we've got it. I want to see what's under there. And is there a connection between underground drilling and earthquakes? Oh, did that one. I think I know how to make the UFO. No, we did that one as well. And I'm not going to wade into the politics there, but voting results were very alien-like. I mean, maybe they are manipulating us. Who was it the other day that was saying, oh, it's really bloody interesting? Fuck, I didn't mention it. It was something. It was an extra evidence, or an extra key to that they were trying to fuck with us, trying to get us to destroy ourselves. Oh, what was it? It was something. Yeah, something to do with the. You know, we've heard about the nuclear missile silos being tampered with. You know, having the missiles turned off and turned on. Who was it now that was talking about? Because they were quite credible. It wasn't just everybody off the street, if I remember correctly. It was somebody that was quite interesting in this space, had some authority. And they were saying that basically they were goading them. They were trying to get us. That was it. They were trying to turn our silos on and off, so the Russians would see the activity and think we're going to nuke them, and vice versa. It was something like that. You know, maybe they are playing some sort of weird geopolitical game. They want to get their hands dirty. They want to get us to do it, and they've got the time to wait there. And eating the forbidden fruit created the original sin there. And the Bible is very real, and I've had paranormal experiences with it there. So that's interesting. Tying in with the paranormal as well. I like that. It's going to be interesting. We do need to do a paranormal stream at some point, so we can all scratch that itch there. Oh, and Ron, there, you got to go now. But it's been a nice chat. It's been nice. Thank you for participating. I love the questions there, Ron. Hopefully we'll catch you another night. And guys, remember, we are on pretty much every night. So tomorrow night, make sure you're subscribed to get those notifications. But tomorrow night it'll be 8 PM UK time, and we're going to be doing our alien radio signal hunt for about an hour and a half, hour and 45, and then at 10 PM we're going to be rolling into the members and Patreon deep dive into all of the new documents and stuff that's been released. We're going to be having a look through all of that together in real time in the private chat there. So do join us for that one if that is your cup of tea as well there. Is that Mags 1906? How are you doing there? And they came for the Jews and this and nothing, and then they came for the artists. Oh, we're very close to. All right, I honestly, this is the only thing I'll say on that is that isn't exclusive to the right at all. This is the thing, that the mistake that we make as people, is that we always think that the bad traits are exclusive to the other. But the problem is, even if we're more perfect in ourselves, those traits are still on our side. We're all it's not big bad people around a meeting room that make bad decisions for us. That's not how the world works. It's people kind of believing that they're doing what they think is right. That's how it tricks us. So we have to be conscious of that within both sides. It's not just a one-sided thing, but it is worrying with all the things that's going on at the minute there. And Doug there, was it Robbie Williams? I've got a poster of Robbie Williams, so I miss him. I don't believe that big story about the missile silos are starting up there. So, I mean, there have been lots of them about them shutting down. There's only one that I'm aware of about them starting up. But I've heard lots of them about them being turned off and being interfered with. And maybe it is, because there would obviously be an agenda that, look, we know the military use a false flag operation, if they can, all of the time. They'll do it about, other actors within the world. So if aliens were an option, they would definitely use that as well. There's an advantage for them to painting them negatively. But I also don't think that we can rule that out. I do not think it is obvious, or even if we think it's obvious there, that we should by default treat them as benevolent space brothers. I think we should, until we know, until we've had a longer relationship, we have to, I think, be very, very cautious. Because on one hand, you get all these messages of positivity, don't you? Look, be careful with your nukes. What are you going to do? You be careful, don't blow yourselves up. And hey, that's a true fact. We know that sort of stuff's going on. We do need to be careful. But also, what if that is the one thing that's stopping them from landing? We just don't know in our human ignorance there. And there are also orbs when it comes to the paranormal. Oh, there is actually as well, very much so there. And Will-o'-the-wisp. But those things have been cited for a very long time. And I think, again, a big portion of the phenomenon, not all of it, is going to be the plasmoids there. The idea that there is sentient plasma life that has been here all along on Earth. And we are starting to get the evidence now. In fact, that was one of the other deep dives that was doing, which was the Condign report, which was the UK government reports into the phenomenon. That was their conclusion, was it needs more searching, but it looks like there's plasma life here, guys. That's intelligent, that is doing shit. And it's been here for a long time there. And yes, I agree there. And it's society and stuff. We are being fed. I think that is it. We are being totally... and I buy it. I really do buy it off stream. Like, there are certain things I'll see in the news, and like the problem is, it's like whatever we're seeing is that's part of the game, isn't it? They want you to puppeteer you like that, left, right, up, down, whatever it might be. It's all a thing. And Mags there, good to see you. Where are you joining us from tonight? And I agree, we're all being fed 100% there. And Rusco there, good morning, sir. I hope you are well. We're all good here. And I'm about to start getting into the 161 files. They're just released there. Very excited and cannot wait. So, Rusco, again, same here. We're going to be doing it in a few hours' time. It's early morning for us here now. But yeah, at 10 p.m. tonight, we are going to be doing that with our community over on the Patreon, the members there can start getting into them. So, yeah, very excited. It's exciting times. Whether there is stuff within that in of itself or not, the fact that it's being talked about like this, that that official people are, and whatever their motivations are, it still, kind of raises the credibility of the whole area. I think for us. What's that we all, well, there, it's just, see, that is the thing. I really do. I totally agree with you there. Alan, I really do. And because I've had some times where there's some people that I haven't been aligned with, and I've been forced to, for whatever situation, to kind of listen. And then when it comes out of it, I realise that actually it's that they're scared too. They're just scared about the opposite thing. That seems more of a threat to them. But ultimately, we are all the same. It's just one group fears one thing more than the other.
Zoom mode
and then all the other stuff in between after that. But look at that. Again, you need to keep your eyes on this one. We need to see it do something strange there before we can say it's anomalous there. We need to see it do, well, we need to see it at all there. No, it's fading out there. So that must be the Earth's shadow, which is weird because it's coming from the other direction. Okay, another one coming up here. Again, yeah, we need to see it do something strange. Stop dead, shoot off its speed, change its course, its trajectory. All the second one there as well. So we still get activity there. But until we see it do something weird, we cannot say that it is anything of that name, man. Made satellite to there. And Bill there. Oh, the missing scientists there. Numbers up to 14. Oh my god, there are more. And heard a couple of them from China. Has also disappeared. It's so convenient because wasn't the General McCaslin? They recently said that he was going to basically be pulled in as a hostile witness, you know, and a witness that didn't want to participate. You know, the conveniently they're tidying shop just as they're releasing stuff. The people that are in the best position to start to share that information are being, you know, quieted there. Does he really? Robbie Williams. Yeah, I always find it fascinating when celebrities are like interested in this. There's been a few, and we mentioned Danny Dyer previously, and who was it? Was it Bez and stuff like that? You go, what? It's yeah, very very strange. I always find it when celebrities are into this as well. And he did point to the Tabby Star, and it has what looks like a Dyson. So Tabby Star is very very interesting there. So Alan there, but that is the funny part of it, right? Is that like that is exactly what the right think as well, you know. So the right and the left both are fearing the same thing, and I mean, you know, that's hilarious. And we saw it in the US elections, wasn't it? And I thought this was hilarious because you turn on one channel that was like, you know, Trump focused, and they would be like, if we don't win this election, there won't be any more elections. They're doing this to stop the votes. And then you turned on the other side for the Democrats, and they were like, if this is our last chance election, they're going to rig it, and you know, all of that sort of stuff. It was the same fear that was being used both ways round. You know, oh, this is a game. But Tabby Star is very, very interesting there. Lots of indications that it could be what's called a Dyson sphere going around that. And the idea there is basically a sphere around a star to trap and to harness all of the energy that star releases. And we would see one of those, basically, because it would block the visible light from the star, but I think the infrared would still escape, and therefore we could go, wait a minute, what's that infrared-looking like thing up there, and we can't see it in the visible light? Oh, it must be a Dyson sphere around that star. But yeah, the idea is that they could also, when they're being built, they'll block out part of the star periodically as they're orbiting around that. And that could be an indication there's some sort of megastructure going on around a distant star. But the interesting thing, I think it's Tabby Star. There's a very good candidate for one that we've observed, this dimming of brightness around that star. But also that basically, I think it's Tabby Star, but around Tabby Star, all of the other stars that are of the same type, and I think they're same as our star, whatever they are, G-type stars or whatever, which again we know host life, all of the similar stars in the immediate area around it have also got strange behavioural products like that as well. So, and what would a civilization do once it spreads out? It goes to the nearest suitable star around itself using the same technology. There's lots of indications there. I think Tabby Star is a very, very interesting one there. Where did we get to? And Ben there, good evening, how you doing, Ben there? Bit of a late stream there, never knew he was live. Ben, so we was on TikTok earlier, and then the TikTok didn't like the new overlays there, so they just banned us outright. So bugger them. So we've been on here, and to be honest, I didn't realise the time, but we were having a good time, aren't we, guys? How you doing, Ben? We probably won't be on for much longer there. Robbie said that he slept with a lizard woman recently. So funny, because what we were talking about this, wasn't it? It was Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins, said the same thing. Yeah. Summit in the music industry. I wonder if it's the same reported person. And almost worldwide, talking about the government control and UFOs there. It's also live and lies of the Isle of Wight Festival. God, I haven't been to a festival in a very, very long time there. I do miss the vibe. See, the Dyson theory is over humans getting free energy there. We lost Tesla as he wanted to discover the same thing. So Tesla was big, wasn't he? And I think back in that sort of time, they were talking about energy from the ether, which mainstream science tested and said, look, there isn't an ether. There isn't just this a vacuum, or there isn't just this energy that we can just tap into. But they're now getting indicators that maybe there's something going on. Maybe there is something more to it. They just didn't test it in the right way back in the day there. And Grush was interviewed on Judicial Watch recently. I didn't see the interview, but I saw he was on there. But it really does seem it's kicking off, doesn't it there? And thank you for the welcome there. You appeared in my feed tonight there, and tuning in from Crew, and fascinating all things alien there. Mags, all very welcome aboard there, and thank you for saying hello as well. I do appreciate it when people do pop in and say hello. I love to know where everybody's watching from, so you're all very welcome there. Even if you're not chatters, you're all very welcome to just hang out and watch the stars with us there as well. But if you do want to say hello, do and let us know where you're watching from tonight. And we're on most nights. I think lots of people put us on to go to sleep to. Which is fine if you can tolerate my voice there. And the Dyson theory makes no sense at all if that species eats a food. Well, you talk about growing but I mean, if you can just harness energy, we can turn that energy into something else there. But yeah, they wouldn't be able to grow crops. They wouldn't be able to heat the planets outside of the sphere, would they? They would be encapsulating it there. But I think, didn't somebody say that actually on the outside of the sphere they could then use that energy? But it's a very rough one. But also Dyson swarms are another option, and we're technically building one of them already, which is basically a constellation of satellites around the star to do the same thing, to absorb the energy. And again, we would see that dipping of light. Living light, but love has already a triumph there. For the love is the central theme on Earth, and is in almost all old and new stories there, novels, operas, and songs, and that is the proof. Well, see, I would agree. Like, I think that, especially in our modern day and age, we see so much crap. And there's a lot of crap out there. I would argue that actually the world isn't any more crap than really that it's ever been. It might actually be better, but we're just seeing more of it. And look, our nervous system isn't designed to operate like this. We are designed to only be aware of threats if they are likely to be a threat. It's kind of like a radar. If your wife comes home and says, there's a man shooting up outside of our house, you go, all right, that's a problem. That's very close to me, right? But your nervous system will say that, if you'll see something on the news about something similar, other side of the world, your nervous system treats that in a very, very similar way. We're not designed to handle that, so we all feel that we're worse here. I mean, it's like, look at all the corruption we see in politics at the minute. Do you think for a second that politicians are more corrupt now, or do you just think that we haven't known before? I think we've just got more connection. We're more able to see the imperfections, and I think that's generally what's going on in the world as we speak now. And objectively, our quality of life is massively spiking up there, that hockey stick. And we could always lose the battle. There's always individual dips. We could definitely lose the battle if we are not careful. But I think we have to take pride that as a species we have overcome. It doesn't feel very intuitive, but I think we do have to do it. We have to put in the effort, because otherwise, we'll be reacting to the wrong things. And we have a massive source of solar electrical energy there from the poles there. Hence, we are not allowed there. That's a good point, isn't it? I suppose, because that is, it hits the Earth's magnetosphere there, and it's transferred, down or up to the poles there. That's why you see the aurora there. It's coming to the Earth and then being spread out from around the poles. So maybe. And Ben there, been a bit busy past week there. Be back in the stream. Oh, Ben, we always love you in there, but life sometimes is like that. So never feel any pressure, but always good to see you there. And is Alan hiding there in case he appears in the files there? I'm going to say, rumour has it that Alan is on some sort of flight list. I won't say which, but if you see it, just don't be surprised. Alan's up to certain things. Not for the reasons you expect, though. And I don't think God gave us the full picture. Thousands of years ago, they're just enough for us to understand there. And the ultimate understanding is a massive, complete, complex picture. And you know what? I 100% with that. Like, whether that was the thing, we can only bite off a certain amount. Like, knowledge stacks, right? This is what we forget, and it stacks over generations as well as individually. It's a lot like computer coding. But like, if I say to you, go lay the table in your house for dinner. That's a bit of an old-fashioned thing now. A lot of people don't do it. But, right, that go lay the table, that instruction is so many thousands of individual steps. But I can tell you to execute that program, all of those thousands of steps, and you will know this many forks that go here You know, how many steps to get the forks to the table, to get the plates up onto the table, all of the individual micro muscle movements that you are doing to execute that, you know. But before you have to do that, you have to then have a concept of a dining room there, that you're going to be eating dinner communally there, what setting that is out, why, you know, you have to, that knowledge sits on top of all of those individual components, what a knife is, where the knives live, why knives live in one place, you know, all of that stuff. But eventually you can collapse it down and keep collapsing it all down, more and more information packed, infinitely dense in fewer and fewer words. And that's what language is. Language isn't just so you know what I'm talking about. Language is code. Language is a program, it's a function for us to understand. And again, that stacks culturally as well. There's so many things that again are programmed into those cultural layers that we're not even aware of those sub-steps, you know, by far, but we can still execute the top level program, and why we can keep stacking knowledge and keep progressing on. And it makes sense that, you know, I think part of that is that religious part of us there. That was those earlier forms of it, those earlier days, you know, that is that foundation. I think you may be right about Alan. I mean, sadly, up. Sadly. And Alan there, and hydroponic or light there, but you would have to be meat eaters to have energy to get the brain growth. This is theoretically, but we don't have to be humans like to exist. You know, so this is you're right there. The meat to get the energy density versus the calories for chewing and harvest and getting the stuff there. Meat was traditionally, you know, the most efficient way of doing that, and then we harnessed fire to cook that meat. It released even more calories, or made it easy to chew, whatever it was there, that we could release the calories for, less calories spent out there. So early development, I mean, you look at us now, and definitely if an alien looks like us, again, you know, whether they're grey or lizard-like, if they've got the same layout there, they've probably had very, very, very similar evolutionary pressures to develop like we have. The only reason we are as complex a creatures as we are is because of those different pressures, those different environments we've had to tackle, those different predators and different other species of competition there. If we had had an easy ride, we would have been a blob, you know, so it probably indicates a lot about them and their operation there as well. And Operation Hail Mary, that I haven't seen it yet, but I really, really want to there. And Paul, like Trump, and that's fine. That is fine for me. I'm not a person that will throw pretty much anybody at the extremes, you know, like I'm... that's the right one there. The only person that I wouldn't let around my house for dinner is Starmer, for personal reasons. There, look at that one. That's nice and slow and steady there. But where are we? And out there, I throw back to our caveman days there. We needed to run away from the woolly mammoth there. That's why we're still here. Exactly. I mean, there's so many things that, and we're trying to break down each one of them, where it will come from. Like, oh my God, it's going to be too complex. But yeah, we owe so much about ourselves and how we still think. Like, the thing that we hear all the time is we're such an aggressive species there. And yes, you know, it's true, but no more aggressive than most of the other, you know, predatory animals there. But also we're aggressive because of our evolution, because of our existence that we've had to survive like that. So again, anything else that's as complex as us is very likely to have had a similar experience. Doesn't mean that they've not got past it, but you can argue that we are individually still kind of doing that. You know, we're on our way. You know. You're on a no fairy tales to damn list there. I mean, it's probably a better list to be on there. Book was far better. God, I still desperately want to see the film, but it is the way. More information in books there. And Ben, some of them videos that Trump had put out there are very interesting. Oh, well, we're going to be doing that. Oh, Shooting Star there, guys. If you're about, Ben, we're going to be doing them tomorrow at 10 p.m. We're going to be going through all the recent released files there. And it's going to be a members Patreon thing. So if you haven't, you can join us on that one. Yeah, we're going to start working our way through all of those bits. I think it's going to be really cool. There. And yet, fire and grilling meat. Who'd have thought their indigestion was old caveman issues? But this is the thing, isn't it, right? This is another interesting point, that we talk about, you know, nuclear weapons being very, very dangerous, and they are, but fire is the thing that has killed the most of everything on this earth in history. It's the most dangerous thing that has ever existed for any species ever. But on the flip side of it, it is the thing that literally helped our brains develop, because we could get the nourishment to then feed those bigger brains, allowed us to develop bigger brains and to be intelligent, like when we could harness it there. It's also the thing that heats our houses, keeps us safe, kept us safe around the fire from predators there. Technology isn't good or bad, you know, it's how you use it and how you interact with it there. And the same is true for things like nuclear as well going on there, but it's, you know, they are so intrinsic, we don't realise to our beings there. And the fight and flight, oh, actually no, I missed one there. We had to eat more meat towards the ice ages. There possibly Neanderthal species was larger than humans now. Well, quite possibly. I think it's an interesting one. Why did they all die out there? Because you look at the Neanderthals there, and they were physically bigger as individuals there. They had bigger brains. You know, there may have been a bigger species. We now know they had art and language and things like that. Why didn't they become the dominant ones? You know, was it that their brains didn't have the neural density that ours do? So they were physically bigger but didn't have as many, you know, thinky bits in there. Is that what was wrong? Nobody knows. And it's unlikely that we will, sadly, but it's an interesting question. Right, keep your eyes on that slow one there. Again, on that one as well. We need to see it do something strange there. And fight and flight has kept us alive there. That is now misplaced, and why folk have anxiety there. Our primitive brains stuck trying to protect us and keep the species alive. Yeah, it's working through those old mechanisms. These things, they're programmed over billions of years, and to deprogram it is the same. You know, and again, our technology is moving so fast that we just are not having those times to adapt to these things by some quiet way. And that is, I think, probably the most dangerous threat to our species, is that overall danger there. Right, we're going to wind up shortly. Just wait for this one to come off screen. Just make sure it's not going to do anything last minute there. But remember, guys, if you haven't already, give us a sub, and therefore you'll get the notification when we're on tomorrow. It's going to be a double bill. I think it's going to be cloudy, so it'll be a SETI signal hunt there at 8 PM, and then the deep dive at 10. So we won't be missing out on a Skywatch. But we hope to see you all over for those ones as well. And I'm going to argue with TikTok tonight there. And lobbyist Stephen Bassett there said they were turning nukes off, and Robert Salis. I've heard about this as well. Lots of people that have worked at the nuclear weapons bases do report that, yeah, they have UFOs, whatever those craft may be, have interfered and turned off multiple of the big missiles there, the ballistic missiles. But there is reports, I've only heard of one, but one report of them turning them on in Russia. Now, is it just a simply turning on, like in the way of turning it off? They're showing you, or showing us, that they have control. Maybe that's the angle, and maybe that's all it is. Or is there something more manipulative going on there? It's very, very interesting there. Mankind as the overlords there, left us to fend for ourselves, and maybe that's what we needed. You know, like maybe our intelligence, our civilization, our skills, maybe they have to be earned. You know, in the same way that people need to figure out their own problems. You know, you can't do everything for your kids. You need to let them figure it out. You need to let them learn, and hopefully they don't, you know, make such a mistake that it's so expensive, you know, or they die, that sort of thing. But, you know, they need to learn, need to grow themselves. They can't be smothered. Maybe that's what's happening with us. Maybe they're keeping an eye on us, you know, making sure we don't make one of those too big of mistakes, but letting us make a lot of individual mistakes there so our species can develop and learn and to grow. Thank you there, A-Up. We shall be wrestling them. I don't know what I should do. Something about that, this screen. They think it's, I don't know if it's the moving text. I might try the fixed text one. But yeah, anyway. Guys, I'm going to come off for tonight, but thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for supporting in every which way that you do there, just hanging out, watching, asking your awesome questions, liking, all that sort of stuff, or even, you know, your super chatters and your members and stuff like that who go the extra mile there. We do really, really appreciate it there, and as I said, it all goes back into stream, helping us improve what we do. But we'll be back on tomorrow night at, I think, about 8 PM UK time. So for reference, it is now 1:05 in the morning UK time, so you can do the maths on that one. And yeah, we'll be on for probably the SETI at 8, and then the members deep dive at 10. So thank you again, everybody. You're absolutely awesome. I've enjoyed, as always, hanging out with you guys, and we'll catch up with you all tomorrow there. Night there. And all was that USOS captain said Alan had disrupted the navigation system. They had lots of playing around with it. Yeah, lots of interesting stories there. And long live and prosper there. Good